Wow. We are live, I think. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We have gone through all of the headlines. It's a pretty interesting morning. Remember, yesterday you had the gap down, everybody worried about Powell getting fired. Well, that is still existing. However, you're up 1%, and it's not really off of anything. So we had a couple of earnings. A lot were good. I think there was a couple of bad ones. I think there was a couple of bad. But yeah, the whole idea is that it really wasn't the first set of earnings. We're going to find out Tesla after the bell, but there actually wasn't that many crazy bad ones. So despite that, the volatility is still there. We do got a little bit of data. We're going to wait to hear about India and those trade deals. I don't think anything is guaranteed for today, but other than that, we'll see where it takes us. I do think earnings is key, and hopefully the bond market, the dollar, and all those things, I hope they don't get worse. Otherwise, we're going to be dealing with that panic zone. So on that note, Chattadonia, we have about 3 minutes. So you're here right now. I've already gone over all of it. I do have a couple of plays, so I'll tell you mine, and then you tell me yours. But we already got some Boeing, so that'll be nice. I'm going to be watching First Solar. There was some type of news related to like Cambodia, Vietnam, and solar stuff. So that came out this morning. There was another one moving with it. But watch First Solar, Bosch, BHC. We already have a free play. Carl Icahn. He ended up adding to his stake. Tesla, earnings, Boeing, RTX. We're already in Boeing. They just announced selling of a unit. RTX had earnings. They were down and then came up. I think they're still red, though. We'll have to double check, but I'm going to be watching them. Then 3M, SLI related to lithium, and they also got a deal related to minerals. Then Mass, and then Kimberly-Clark. So other than that, though, take it slow. We got plays from yesterday. I'm going to be watching the volatility, really whether or not we hit the panic zone. But other than that, we will see. I don't think, is it 3,500? I don't have a tariff rate. I didn't say a rate. All we have is the headline on some benefited, some didn't. Which one was it? Yeah, they said U.S. sets new duties on solar imports from Cambodia, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Thailand. So a couple of solar plays went up, and then a couple of them went down. But First Solar U.S., they ended up going higher. But yeah, I didn't see a number, but I think you guys are saying 3,000%. But Chad, you got 2 minutes, baby. I already see a couple of them. What's your first play of the day? Post it in the chat, and then I got to go potty. Oh, I just broke everything. UNH, happy birthday. Oh, that's it. Tesla, Nike. Oh, there they are. SPY calls. TQQ, all in on SPY. Long-term, TQQ put. Eli Lilly, MSTR, Tesla calls. Hands, watching NASDAQ, selling my SPY puts. FML, T calls for the week. Tesla, SPY daily, 520. QQQ, Koi calls. Long-term, UUP upside. GE call, weekly, GME, 27. SPY puts, sitting on my hands. MSTR, selling Intel Premium. Listening at work, NVIDIA and Amazonia. Calls on the Peach, stock sale flip. GE call, Palantir, Amazon, adding all over the long-term. Crocs, GLD puts. Netflix calls. SPY calls at Oper. MSTR, watching Nike and NASDAQ, screaming 10% in the final place. Shopping for houses, sitting on hands, wall scalping, and sell MSTR calls from yesterday. That's what I'm talking about. So I only have a minute, bro. I don't know if I could do it. I'll try. You know, history is made of people who tried. That's it. That's all you got to do.
Paragraph or two about what people should know about the state of Maryland.
I would say Maryland really is American miniature. You tell me what you want to do. And no matter where you're standing in the state of Maryland, I can tell you where to have a world-class experience within 2 hours. We're the home of innovation. We're the home of Johns Hopkins University, the home of the NSA, the home of NIST. We have so much to offer in the state of Maryland, and I think it's one of the reasons that people are so excited about the growth trajectory we're on.
Good morning. This is Bloomberg Surveillance.
Welcome back to the opening trade.
This is Bloomberg Technology.
This is the Asia Trade.
This is Wall Street Week. Welcome to Balance of Power.
This is Bloomberg Television.
Bloomberg, we hate.
Bringing you up-to-the-minute geopolitical news whenever and wherever it happens. I'm David Gura in Rio.
2, 1. Round 1. Fight. All righty. So again, couple earnings, GE, NOC, RTX, and then you got Tesla, Boeing coming up later. Let's see, did those Boeings open up yet? I don't think they did. Oh no, that's BHC. Damn. So yeah, watch out for that one. I forgot we have free plays. They're only up 100. They were just flashing the ask right there. But watch out for that one. Again, Carl Icahn added to his stake. Hertz. I don't know what happened to Intel. Literally last night at the bell, they just went, what the fuck? You see that candle? I think it turned off after hours. It's like, damn. But yeah, you're gapping up 1% right now. Bonds are green. A little bit of a reversal from yesterday. Again, that reaction with dollar, gold, bonds, all of that yesterday was actually phenomenal. So we will, damn, they raised the spreads. The Boeings are up only 100. Oh, come on. That's a fat spread, but you got 100 on the Boeings. Where's the other ones? Okay, we're going to do something with those two. We'll go one at a time. One at a time. No way. Damn, they gave me $1 for that? All right, I made the Home Depots free. Shit. That was a nice one, bro. Surprisingly. I got one of them for free. And then Boeing. I like the Boeings, but those are actually up only 50%. Like I'm saying, I think that Home Depot play made more than the Boeing play. And Home Depot is not up as much as Boeing. So again, Boeing has a lot of volatility. All right, and then SPY working up. Again, there's no general like bullish steam today. You're just vibing up and coming back to where we gapped down from yesterday. So be careful. God is good. Tell him, Tyson. What's up, baby? Good morning. Good morning. Verizon on the high. Again, GE, RTX, and NOC. And then 3M, too. 3M was down and then ripped back up. So this one might be a wild one, actually. I would keep your eyes on 3M. I totally forgot about that one because they were down and then they rocketed up. So you're going to have, like, there's a lot of volatility here. You see what I'm saying? Continuation-wise. Netflix on the high. That's a post-earnings. Again, I have not seen Tesla yet. Intel again. Citi chief economist puts recession odds at 40 to 45. Yeah, Intel's still doing good. Not bad. And then Netflix, Coinbase on the high. Again, NASDAQ up 1.2, SPY 1.1. Russell is the leader at 1.4. And then Dow Jones is up by 1.0. I haven't even looked at banks. And then Boeing, you only got 40%. I haven't even taken profit on that one yet. I guess we have two different sets. And then the Dollar Tree, if you guys remember those, they don't have a bid. But that was the other free one from yesterday. PG on the low. Unity on the high. That one's up 4. Okay, let me turn on the VWAP. Yeah, Netflix is nuts. Watch Boeing. Netflix, dude, at 1,029. Jeez. This thing's up 4% right now. BB, why they charge so much? IMF chief economist, China downward forecast does not include latest Q1 data. Hertz, a lot of you guys are saying Hertz. It's up 7, yeah, up 8.3. Remember, the last couple of days, that was the one that got away. Then it sold off. I thought it sold off more. I guess that is 30%. But yeah, it's coming back up there. Again, there hasn't been any other headlines since your boy confirming the 19% stake. BHC, that one's still going up. Bank of America on the high. Again, Citi as well. And now you got Kohl's. Oh, Kimberly-Clark. That was the other value earnings play. Who else? Then you had Halliburton, PHM, Danaher. DHR is another post-earnings. I like the G. 3M still on the low. So, again, 3M, that one's either going to sell off another 3% or it might just bounce and hold. But, like I said, pre-market, that one moved a ton. Again, those HDs are up still. Oh, the QQQ calls are up a little. I forgot about those. I'm actually going to sell that. Yeah, remember those QQQs? Those balanced out the SQs, but then we sold one set. That's actually I'm take profits on that one. That'll help balance things out great. I'm out of that. IMF, oil price declines primarily from weakening global activity. All right, Twist. Twist. You guys like that one? I like that one. It's QQQ. All right, where's a DG and Dollar Tree? Hertz is still up there. TEM on the high. And Macy's. PH, too. Pulte. No, it's PHM. Yeah, Dollar Tree still chilling. Marvel on the high as well. It's honestly crazy. Today's a lot more active and holding up way, way differently than yesterday morning. Nike on the high. They're up another 1.5. Even Eli Lilly or NVO. Both of those are doing good. UNH got murdered, dude. Even Humana. Where's healthcare and Staples? Healthcare's in the green. Staples are in the green. I want to say everything is. So we'll go over the checkup here in a little bit. Let's let some more time go through. Nikes. Okay, the Boeings are holding. Oh, which one was that? The Pepsi. I actually like those. XLP is still going up. Nail on the high. Home builders are moving more. Again, we do have home building data or pending homes, I think, tomorrow or Thursday. Oil is in like mid-60s, I want to say. Maybe low 60s. And then all the safe havens are down. Again, you're just into where you opened up. 52.17, that level should sound familiar. Yeah, you're at 63. Oil's up today, but it is coming down. But oil is still very, very low. Again, BK, SPY on the high. Again, values are starting to move. You also got a lot of financials. And then Netflix is a very, very weird leader here for tech. Again, I mean, Meta's still up 1%. I think Google went up after hours, but only up 0.6. But yeah, Netflix is like a league of its own. Amazon's not doing too bad either. KBH, J&J on the high. So that's another value. Hertz again, 856. Monster. I mean, watch Monster. Them home builders are going up, bro. Yeah, literally. Toll Brothers, Lennar, PH. I know PHM is Pulte. Yeah, every home builder is rocketing right now. I think that's very interesting. Again, you do have a little bit of home building data, but even with bonds and all that, you would think there'd be a little more hesitancy, but there is not. Yeah, all the home builders. I don't know why. McDonald's, SPY holding up. Yeah, McDonald's is good. I got one more free. That HD yesterday was killer, bro. So that one's still holding easy 100 on the bid. Oh my goodness. And the Bosches are up still. PHM up 6. Yeah, dude, all of them are killing it. Oh, IVZ. I forgot about them. They had a deal this morning. And then where's Bobo? SPY on the high. This is great. Boeing to sell certain digital aviation solutions. Update. HD. HTZ $9. Yalla. Yeah, Nike, Pepsi's getting a bid. Again, their premium's already up. My goodness. My goodness. All right, you're breaking out. I think I sold my QQQs a little too early. I mean, even though it was, I guess, 1.4. So remember, yesterday you gapped down to this level. You were already down like 2 or 1.5, and then you moved down 2% intraday. So now we gapped up that 1%, and then we've barely moved for now. So I think there's still a lot in store, but it's not driven by a narrative like yesterday. You know, yesterday's narrative was the Powell thing, but now today you just moved without any real development. Again, we might hear from India today, but no guarantee of that. Well, yeah, you're breaking out. Yalla. Again, watch value financials. I think those are key. Now, yeah, look at XLV as well. A couple of industries taking off. Got TSM on the high, and then MSTR, crypto. Gold a little flush. Oh. I've never traded these. Not like that. Ugh. Oh, they got some premium. Again, home builders, bro. I keep seeing Toll Brothers or another builder on there. MSTR breaking out too. Again, Bitcoin actually going nuts. Tesla, you have earnings today after the bell, so keep that in mind. If it doesn't move, I mean, it's already 2.7. I think they're pricing in like 5. But if it moves big ahead of earnings, probably less reaction on earnings. If it moves small, then you might be in better luck. Dollar Tree. All right, bonds went a little lower. Sweet greens on the high. 3-2. Where's somebody brought up Chipotle earlier? Honestly, everything is up. Give me 15 more minutes. I'll get you guys a checkup. I'm like suspicious. Because again, with what's driving you, it's not really anything crazy, but I do see a lot of these names. It just seems like every industry is doing well today. Oh, where is it? Tesla's still on the high again. Bond selling off. J&J again. 3M. NVO even went up. Carvana. Hood on the high. AEM. Gold plays. Yeah, all the gold miners are getting hit. Then watch TSM and Micron. I think the TSMs are a little too expensive, but I'd keep an eye on that one. TSM, Micron, and chips if that actually holds. Apple, Intel's even going up 1940. So yeah, a lot of things are moving. These are weird. I can't remember the last time we had just green candles. This feels odd. Yeah, all the safe havens are flipping from yesterday, which again bittersweet because yesterday was kind of freaky. Lagarde going to speak on CNBC soon. Car on the high again. CarMax was going up there as well. All the gold ETFs and inverse ETFs are moving. MSTR again as well. All right. Yeah, XLP starting to break a little bit. NVIDIA, bull suspended. Okay, Apple's up 2. Apple and Netflix and Amazon. Those are the leaders. There's TSM again. That was not stopping. Netflix literally 135. Eli Lilly's going up now too. NVO is up. And God bless America. Netflix puts, I mean, I don't think so. I'm sure it's eventually going to have a pullback after leading, but till then, I mean, Netflix is a winner. Just, everything from the beginning of the year, end of the year, even before the volatility. I mean, it's just, Netflix is a good winner. And even with tariffs and uncertainty, I mean, that one is there. Would I buy Netflix at $1,000? No, I bought it at $200. But other than that, I'm not, I think they're a winner. So I don't know about kind of betting against them now, but eventually it'll sell off some of that excess gain. Tesla, you think it's JD Vance? That could be. I mean, they said good talks, but they always say that. But we don't have any full details. All right, bro, you ripped. I sold my QQQ too early. Oh, yeah, I left me a dollar. Oh, I left $1 on the table. Volume, bro, remember, yesterday was no volume. So yesterday it was actually not bad, 69 million, but it was literally all of Europe was closed. So we'll see. Hood calls active. They're up 6. Again, a lot of financials. Hood, XLF. Dude, XLF's up 2. Jeez. Yeah, City was on fire as well, but damn. Yeah, but watch out for that. Hood's on the high, some unusual options. I'm going back to Boeing. Amazon again. Bro, Netflix is disgusting. Even Oklo. Yeah, bro, Netflix is up 5. It's kind of nuts. But then again, post-earnings, they did decent on earnings, so this is all kind of that. And now they're bringing back to where they started. Bonds are catching a bid. Well, I think that one's interesting. I would not say, I wouldn't, like we talked about yesterday, I think it was you. I would not look at prices to get a signal. So if you're looking at bank prices moving up and you're like, yeah, no more recession, no. I think at this point, the real worry, there is clearly uncertainty on Wall Street and things slowing down. I think the question is whether or not it spills over to Main Street. That's what we're waiting for now, is does it actually hit the day? Yo, Visa and American Express. What the hell is this? They're already up a lot, but Visa, AXP, remember you had the Capital One stuff, and that confirmed yesterday. Would it be an okay idea to front-run earnings? Oh, dude, that's up to you. I don't know. Sometimes when I front-run, I make a lot of money or I'll get absolutely wrecked. So that is the risk of front-running any earnings, is if you're right, you're going to get paid heavy. If you're wrong, you're going to get clobbered and probably waste your earnings play on a bad strike because it moved. DTE popped up $1. Yum, Eli Lilly. Bro, I'm telling you, that Eli Lilly headline is the funniest. There was literally bearish articles on NVO this morning on how the American company is going to do better than the European one in Europe. I'm like, that. It was kind of refreshing. I'm not going to lie. You know what I'm saying? It's been a while since I've heard somebody say a good thing about an American company. Yeah, Webull doesn't have options yet. That's popped, though. Again, Webull, Robinhood, all of them. All financials, all brokerages. Again, everything's up. You have kind of just rallied all day here today with everything kind of catching a bid. It's just really the gap up and then a small follow-through from the morning. But it's looking like a damn melt-up mode. If this holds, if it doesn't hold, then you just got a little excited there. Tesla. Yeah, Boeing, they went up 50, 60 at most, and then came down. I did not even take that one yet. Emo, what up, baby? Oh, yeah, you did. You had Fed Harker. Fed has built up a lot of credibility over time by being independent and objective. I don't think the Fed speak. There's a lot of Fed speakers, but like I said, I mean, at this point, I think Powell runs the show amongst other things, but I think they're more of a noise indicator than kind of being helpful at this point. I said this months ago. I'd say after we started going from hard data to soft data, and then Powell pretty much changing being the opposite every press conference we've seen him at, I don't even think they matter as much. Or me personally, I'm not really putting that much weight on their comments. You know, back how it was back in the day. Tiger, they're at 5. That's a financial one too. Why is HD? That showed up on the high ticker. It's not at the high. What do I consider hard data versus soft data? It's not really an opinion. So you could look up what it is, but there's like hard data with like CPI, jobs, and then there is like surveys like consumer sentiment or like a regional manufacturing activity or like, again, a survey asking people what they feel about something. Is dollar bottoming or going to make a new low? That's a great question, but nobody knows. And right now, what the dollar has done, it's very concerning. That's what we talked about on the watch list last night, because I don't think people realize the dollar does not move like this. And even last time I gave you guys an update on the dollar and bonds, it just got a lot worse after yesterday. FCX, materials on the high. And again, SPY came down, Boeing selling. Value still doing good. Value and financials, those are the ones that really stood out to me today. So I'd be watching that, see if that continues. Again, you have Fed Harker. I think you have 4 other Fed speakers today. So yeah, you have a packed schedule, my brethren. TWC on the low again. Freeport getting volume. That's at the high. HSAI. And then now we're coming back after that little top. So here's the deal. If you go back to the opening and below, that's going to kill the whole shape of this. But if you could hold up VWAP, you're kind of still in melt-up mode. But again, today doesn't have much. I know the market's moving. A lot of things are going up. But in the same way everybody kind of reacted to the Powell news delayed over the weekend, you're not really getting any. This is just pure movement. That's up 1.3, 1.6 now. NASDAQ is caught up with the Russell. So not bad. Yeah, Bitcoin, I think they're up. I think it was on, what's his name? John Paulson, or who was it? Bitcoin, and then all of Coin MSTR. Soft data tells you what is coming. Hard data tells you what is past. No. So be careful, because that would be a foolish mistake to assume that soft data will tell you what happened. That's what I showed last time. So if you go overlay sentiment with CPI, I think you get like 4 or 5 false indicators. That's why it's kind of offensive that we sold off the market before on that, and then to have the Fed be audacious enough to say we don't react and we're not, we don't want to get too jumpy, but yeah. Boeing flushed. 3M now, that one came back up. And then IBM, so again, 3M, that continuation. If you grabbed it in the first ones, I think those would have hit. Kroger on the high. Well, yeah, Intel went crazy yesterday. Okay, look at bonds out. Although we have a gain, remember, you're still near the danger zone. That's why I keep telling you. I mean, we may get some price movement, but if you still get back to the danger zone, we're not there. No, I think we are still in the panic mode. It's not really. It's just this range. Do you understand it? So if you are going to use this idea of panic zone, please understand it, because you shouldn't have to ask me. And I'm not saying this because I don't appreciate what you're saying. I just want to make sure that I don't want you to be fearful of something that you don't have to be overly fearful about. And what I'm trying to have you understand here, all I'm talking about is this range of when we hit peak fear and then walked away from it. So as long as we stay in these pretty much April 4th to April 10th, and in the low end of the range below 522, 523, that's kind of what has got us into this panic zone, to call it. But, it's not necessarily, you don't have to, oh my gosh, we're freaking out. It's this, but it's really just based on this idea of, are we moving away from peak fear, or are we about to actually enter it? It's Netflix again. Look at Intel. That came down. Netflix. Walmart is going up. Pop. 20 cents. Who's the other one? Walmart and Target. Yeah. Walmart's the only one going up. HD got a candle too. Interesting. The HCs came down. They're up 70. They're coming. Like I said, if this holds up, that'll be good. If this flushes to open you got a problem, man. Yo, Procter Gamble? Wasn't that red? Yeah, PG was red. It may want to move. Jeez, dude. The best Mag 7 stock? Oh, I don't know. I like all of them. I know that's I feel like Donald Trump when you ask him a Bible verse. But I like all of them. They're all great. I like the Mag 7. It's a good group. Great group of guys. They're a little liberal, but I like them. I can't complain. But yeah, I kind of like them all together. Obviously, I think I'm biased towards Meta, but yeah, I think they all have their own thing, and they're really good for the economy. I mean, again, or they pretty much are our economy, depending on how you look at it. But yeah. HTZ, Reddit on the high, and then there's Netflix. We're back up. So that's a good sign. I just think all of that was a little dancing around. What the fuck is happening to these spreads, bro? They won't give me them. Whoa, kind of running. U.S. Richmond manufacturing minus 13. Estimate was minus 6. Eurozone consumer confidence minus 16.7. Puts are dirt cheap. I like the volatility. That's why I got rid of my QQQ too early. On the upside, that would balance it out some of the ones we had yesterday. But like I was talking about on the watch list last night, if we break through that low, if we really start to panic, I'm actually kind of excited because all of the volatility plays will be cheap. I could already tell. I'm telling you, I scooped up shit at 1 cent, 2 cents yesterday. And it did lag, but right away they gave us a gain. It took you 3 or 6 hours to really get the max gain, but dude, they were cheap. So if nothing happens and it goes opposite, you're wrong on timing, you're just gonna lose money. But if it stays low in these volatility plays and we move crazy, I'm a big fan. Target was the only one down out of the Walmart HD bunch. So again, I paid HD yesterday on that Walmart headline. If you guys were here, I went for the Home Depot because Target and the other one were a little bit too late. But yeah, that's the one that's chilling. Yeah, I mean, Fed Harker, we just had that earlier. CV keeps going. Again, Pepsi's are still killing it, too. Oh, yeah, Lagarde's coming up. T-Mobile on the high. Again, they have earnings this week. T-Mobile. Apple breakout. XLP, so staples are killing it right now. XLP, XLF, financials are actually slowing down a little bit. There is that Apple breakout. Then you got McDonald's. Bitcoin over 90. A lot. Where's NVIDIA? I was just chilling, man. Intel coming back up. SPY hitting a new high. I think we're a little higher now than yesterday. Are we? Yeah, you're getting right above the open now. So this is a good break. I think 52.52. So 52.82 actually. Damn. Yeah, or 52.62 and then 52.82, 52.81, and then 5,300. So 52.62. It's like 22 points, 21 points from here to the upside. Apple and bonds. LMT still works, bro. Yeah, Walmart. Again, Target's the only one that didn't go up, pretty much. But yeah, Target is now actually in the red, but Walmart, HD, I think Target could be affected by Kimberly-Clark. They had bad earnings. Then SPY just hit the high, came down a little bit. Which one is that? No Coke. What up, baby? Do you have KO? This is a good one. KO, you know, people like the KO. All right, you're still holding up. AMZN, Amazon, Abbott, SPY's even hitting the damn high. You got a couple names on the low, actually. Let me get you guys the checkup. How does that sound? Does that sound like something I could interest you in? What? Yeah, bro, this is so dumb. This is literally the opposite of yesterday. So you ready? SPY, 485 names in the green. 18 in the red. Okay? So literally almost 90% of the market is in the green. You ready for this one? Dow Jones, you have 29 names green. Only one name is in the red. And then my favorite one, are you ready for this one? The NASDAQ 100. Literally 100 names are green. Like, no exaggeration. 100 names are green on the NASDAQ 100. Every single name. Ta-da! So, yes, welcome. I mean, no, if you guys remember yesterday, that's the funny part. Because yesterday was literally the reverse. You had 90% of the market down. Remember when we did our checkup in the morning, we were like, what? Everything was just like selling off pretty hard. And now, like I'm saying, without any news, without any real driver, you just did the opposite. U.S. issues fresh Iran-related sanctions, Treasury website. And then something here on 3M, CFO, we have 90 days of inventory, which will last till end of June. We're going to start seeing the impact of tariffs on imports from China after that. DY on the low. We'll see if 3M responds to that. I know the VIX is above 30. At least it's above 25. Remember, 20 to 25 is weird. Above 30 or above 25. It's usually a buy the dip indicator, but again, we are dealing with a wild set of uncertainty and policy. All right, you're moving up. You got EU close in like an hour and a half. TLT calls here. No, after April 17th, the next call play on bonds, it's after it breaks. That's it. Otherwise, it's the same broader plan. I do think I'm not really too bad about holding them for the long run. Broadcom on the high. But like I'm saying, it's either going to be that type of sell-off where bonds crash and then they get saved. Other than that, though, I think that's the next direction. I haven't played TLT all week. I'd be down to do some flips here and there. Just don't fall in love with it. All right, bro. Another high. Amazon again. Broadcom. That kind of came out of nowhere. You're long on Nike. Ignas long on GME. Oh, let's go, baby. Good luck. Boeing. Back. Straddled. Oh, yo. What up, baby? What up, Leaf Man? I love you. I saw that, and then I got distracted by the movers. What's going on? Straddles. You can just check the prices for now, I mean, again, we had some. I whiffed again and sold my QQQs, but I got some other individuals. That's going to hurt some of the puts that we had yesterday, but we took some profits. But yeah, I'm not until we get some like real easy pricing. I think my next plays are going to probably be earnings. Lagarde on CNBC now. I'll put her on, and then U.S. Treasury sanctions LPG tanker Thenos.
Much it's changed Europe's trajectory.
So this is Lagarde right now.
Well, it has
on
an
CNBC. It's like a CNBC interview. It's actually kind of interesting.
We were at a stage where all the previous shocks that we have taken, from pandemic to energy crisis to very high inflation,
international Airbnb to the
really
law term. Let's go, baby.
And the disinflationary path is clearly on its path as we had expected. And then a series of shocks hit our screen. Number one, the tariff. Number two, important as well, is the whole defense momentum that is taking up in Europe and which has led, in particular, Germany to increase significantly its commitment. And number three, and this is really a result of the tariff announcements and subsequent developments, structural reforms, which Europe had been talking about, which had been described in various reports, which Europe is now saying, okay, now it's time, and it's Europe's hour to actually do the things that have to be done. So it obviously has an impact. Some of it positive, some of it negative. I think on the growth front,
sure,
we've always said that it would be a lose-lose, and we're seeing it.
I'm curious what your reaction was when you saw President Trump unveil those so-called reciprocal tariffs, and that 20% tariff was coming on all European goods into the United States. What were you thinking?
I try to look at things in a very positive way and focused on my mandate.
Because if she says something negative, I mean, again, this is ECB Lagarde.
So I look at that and I think, okay, where are the vulnerabilities? Who are the trading partners with which we deal most? And how do we address vulnerabilities if we have them?
Bull on the high and a firm.
Those trading relationships.
And oil now running.
And when you look at it, Europe is difficult to understand. For most people, there's Germany, there is France, there is Italy. But then there is Europe. And Europe is the federation of 27 member states. And if you look at trade, 65% of our trade is intra-Europe. So our main, Europe's main trading partner is Europe. So that's number one, which means lower the internal barriers to make sure that trade really moves around both in goods and services. And services matter enormously. So that's, point number one. Point number two, we have to be attentive to the developments of the relationships between the US, the rest of the world, the US and Europe. And we have seen very successive movements, announcement and then a pause and then some exceptions. So we have to be very attentive. We have to be agile in the way in which we respond. And that agility means that we have to be ready to take action. Either we cut, either we pause, but we will be data dependent to the extreme.
Well, okay, I'll get to monetary policy in a moment, but just on the trade talk. So now you're at 10%, and there's some breathing room to get to some sort of trade deal. How do you see that?
I'm not sure we're 10%, by the way, Sarah, because we still have higher rates on aluminium and steel and the car industry.
Okay. So I was talking about the blanket.
Yeah.
But yes,
but if you look at the real tariffs in the relationship between Europe and the US, we were at around 3%, and we moved up to 13% more. We were a little less than 3% actually on goods. So it does increase the tariffs, yes.
So how do you see it playing out, these trade talks? Is there scope for a negotiation, for a deal?
I am sure that there is scope for negotiations. I mean, it's in the nature of policymakers to want to sit down and argue their case and point out their imperatives, their red lines, their vulnerabilities, and I'm sure that they can be a dialogue. I would be surprised if there was not such a thing. It will be a process, let's face it. But I think that there will be negotiations, yes.
You said that the intra-Europe trade
not a bad response
for Europe. Yep. What about the U.S.?
Bond's dying,
trade?
though. I don't think it's off of that, but it's just going down more.
Really, economically.
Something about Russian gas export revenues.
Of the non-intra-Euro area trade, Okay, so 65% is Euro area and European Union. But of that non-Euro area trade, the US is 17%. Okay, so it's not a gigantic movement of goods and services. By the way, really, it's important to remember that we ship back and forth goods. We ship back and forth services. And if the US if we have a surplus in goods, the US has a surplus in services. So it's not a complete wash, but it's a lot less than the numbers that I've seen floating around.
That's
Rubio to
fears,
meet
actually,
Qatar
that
minister
Europe
at 11:30 in
can punish the US
Washington.
on the services front, taxing digital ad revenues, for instance, in Europe. Is that something that you think is realistic?
You know, there will be a negotiation process, and as part of the negotiations,
PG still going, and then MO. China's selling off. Yang is on the high now.
They drop them as and when suited. I'm not privy to that, and I'm sure that there will be a will to negotiate. That I'm certain of.
The president has repeatedly said that Europe has been ripping off U.S. automakers, for instance. I mean, has Europe been unfair to American industry?
I really don't think so. There is so much, there is so much joint interest between those two economic continents, if I can call it that way, because Europe is a vast economic region, 450 million consumers, very advanced economies altogether. And there is a lot of foreign direct investment between the two countries. There is a lot of trade going on, goods and services.
Yeah, Meta just don't.
So there might
watch
be
out, because if she starts talking that like digital tax thing, that's where the EU. Remember, they've been clapping Google, Meta, Apple, all of those companies.
2 years of my public life, it's unbelievably complicated because you have thousands of, I think it's more than 8,000 lines of custom duties for all those products, and of course it's going to require a tedious, serious work to get down to what is acceptable to parties and where the vulnerability points are addressed. And it's not just on one side, it's on both sides.
You were also head of the IMF. I feel like you do not like tariffs. Is that true?
I'm a free trader by sort of nature and practicalities. Because free trade has always enhanced the overall growth, has been a serious contributor to the development of the economies, all economies. Then how it is distributed, how the benefits of trade are distributed in any given country is something for that country to
on the high.
But I think that if you look at the aggregate, yes, trade has always been beneficial.
It's interesting, as a result of all of this, the euro has gotten stronger and European markets like Germany have outperformed US counterparts. Why do you think that is?
You're correct in that it's a bit counterintuitive. Initially, and when we had done our projections, we anticipated that the dollar would strengthen and that the euro the euro would appreciate the dollar would appreciate, the euro would depreciate. It's not what we saw. And there have been some counterintuitive movements in various categories. Currency is certainly one. The German market has obviously been shocked in a positive way by the program of the
UNH pop
put in place German government.
Oh, it looked more like a news
defense, one. With a commitment to
not there, and then LNG and oil plays. There's a couple of things that just moved. Even DJT.
When it comes to investment in defense, this is a major push in the direction of let us spend the money that we save here. And there's a lot of saving in Europe to make sure that the infrastructure works better, to make sure that our defense, which is a vulnerability, is improved. So that's hardly surprising. On the euro, and it really reflects on the fundamentals of Europe, on what the confidence level is with respect to Europe. Europe is, I think, associated with freedom, free trade, we just talked about it, stability of prices. I think we are working as hard as we can to deliver that price stability, and credibility. Sometimes we are criticized because we are overruled. Oh, too much regulation in Europe. Well, sometimes to stick to those rules and to
she just
apply
did my
those
voice.
gives a level of certainty.
Bro,
sometimes cumbersome.
She just did. We just took too much regulation in Europe.
Do you think there's a credibility
Honestly, I respect
question
it.
with U.S. assets?
I see you, Lagarde. I see you, girl.
Look at, where the markets.
I fuck with that. That was her. That wasn't me.
I don't think that I could pass a judgment on that. It's a matter of how investors behave.
Yeah.
So euro strengthening, is it getting too strong? And if it continues to strengthen, what sort of options would you look at? Would you consider
we're gonna throw you in jail for tweeting.
I don't comment on
you guys are such babies, Americans.
And obviously we monitor.
WNW.
We take that into account for purposes of identifying inflation and the risk that we have.
Well, it should help with your fight on inflation. I mean, you sound pretty confident that you're going back to 2%.
Yeah, we are. The latest reading was 2.2%, and I think that we're heading towards our target in the course of 2025. So that disinflationary process
Starbucks
is
Mr.
So
Frizzle was calling that one out earlier.
But we have the shocks.
Right.
And the shocks will be a dampen on GDP. It's a negative shock to demand. The net impact on inflation will depend on what countermeasures are eventually taken by Europe. Then we have to take into account the
MO
fiscal
just
push,
ripping away, and the SPY coming back
by
up.
The infrastructure fund that we talked about. And
could be
the
pre-earnings,
impact of
Mel.
the
You're
structural
right.
Reforms. But I think it's an
Nvidia taking off.
and a fascinating moment.
First pop here in a while.
How it's going to impact and hopefully be executed.
I guess my question on policy then is downside risk on inflation. At the same time, downside risk on growth and a potential growth
I would put
shock.
it the other way around.
Too much regulation in Europe.
Which I think is pretty much a
Dude, I
given.
can't believe she said she did it like
not
that.
Not just in Europe, by the way.
Bro, I
the net
actually
impact on
respect
inflation,
it.
I think we
It's good
need
to see that,
to continue
that they
checking
got
the data,
a little bit of
because
awareness.
whether you look at the very short term, whether you take into account the countermeasures, whether you anticipate some increased trade.
Cigna
of
now on the
Chinese
high.
goods,
That's medical
into
again.
Europe, all
UNH
that
was just
will have
going
an
too.
impact.
Remember, they've been beaten down last week.
I can't say, definitely
VKTX.
down,
That's some Ozempic.
downside,
Why are they
risk
popping?
materialization on inflation. We have downside risk.
3M now, that continued up. DJT, that was just waking up there. And then look at Meta. Meta's dying, I think, as she talks.
Maybe faster or even larger, given
And
a
Palant
more
on the
benign
high.
inflation backdrop and bigger risk to growth at this point.
As I said, the net impact on inflation is to be seen. There is too much variables coming into play for that purpose. And as I said, we have the options on the table. We will be data-minded, data-dependent, not data-minded, data-dependent. And in terms of options, we may well cut. We may well pause. It's really going to be meeting by meeting, data dependency. We have, the criteria of our monetary policy stance well established.
Intel waking up.
It has served us well so far. We will stick to that and will be as predictable as is possible with the data that are coming in.
You've got props
again.
from President Trump.
Kroger again.
Week,
Lowe's.
and again this week for cutting.
Yo, why does Lowe's actually have
where
volume? What
he
the
would like
fuck
to
is
see
this?
The Federal Reserve cut interest rates. What was your reaction to that?
Is that real?
Post.
Do you guys see that volume on Lowe's?
Monetary policy decisions are driven by the economic circumstances that we face. And I think that all central bankers around the world are loyal to their mandate.
Well, they're all up. Again, the
observing
HTs went
the
up
facts and
100.
Analyzing the
Those
data
lows
as well
are
as
still
they can.
kind of up.
This is what we've done in Europe. We have inflation coming down seriously. As I said, last reading 2.2%. Our projection for 25 is likely to be 2.1%.
Yeah, watch
Inflation
Lowe's.
expectations are very anchored around the 2%, including in the medium term, and we have growth which is projected to be 0.98%, depending on whose projections you're looking at. The US is a different situation, and the impact of tariffs will be different on the two economies.
What is your expectation there? Higher inflation
in Europe?
In the US?
I think the IMF came out with some projections this morning, and they did increase the inflation projection for the United States.
And
but it's inevitable if you raise tariffs on goods coming in, this is increasing prices.
Yeah, those look. We already had those HDs.
So the combination of the
I'd
two,
keep eyes out for that one. I do not have a play. Google current search distribution agreement with Samsung does not require exclusivity.
Have you talked to him about some of this new political pressure?
Dominion, more energy plays. AT&T still melting up too.
In one way or the other. But as I said, I have immense respect for the work that he does and for his
UNH is climbing. UNH, Cigna, I think Humana, and then Intel breaking 1915.
Diligent, disciplined as possible to deliver on his mandate. For
Emergency
him,
regime introduced in District of Russia's Vladimir region after explosion.
On our mandate.
If there is an attempt by the executive branch in this country to fire Chair Powell before the end of his term, do you see that as a material risk to markets?
I very much hope not.
Hope that doesn't happen.
There's a rumor on lows on ex-dividend.
What would it mean for the markets?
Yeah, interesting.
Look,
I'm saying that volume, the movement,
market reaction
it reacted like HD, but that volume stands out.
But just not on the table.
Understood. But speaking of some of the reaction,
she just said she hopes Powell doesn't get removed.
The European banking system, if there's been
because then whose speech will I copy in the future if you get rid of Powell?
These announcements.
I don't know whose speech I copy.
We haven't seen spillovers,
Wow.
and what I can say is that under the regulations that we have, which is Basel III, with reference to a Swiss town in which we meet on a regular basis, but which has brought all the regulators and sometimes the supervisors as well together to make sure that we don't have a cataclysmic disaster like we did in 2008. I was there. I don't want to see that again. So our banking system is, I think, solid. The banks are far more better capitalized than they were before. And I think the probably more scrutiny applied to supervision than was the case at the time has served us well. And we should really abide by those principles. Not always pleasant, not always, stress testing and scrutiny is always resented because you want to run your business. But to the extent that it is conducive and critical for financial stability, we need to do that.
We need to.
I think you mentioned increased trade with China in one of your answers as a potential impact on Eurozone economy. I'm curious what your expectations are there.
Man, Spotify's ripping.
Potential trade deal with China, is that something you could envision?
Yeah, Russell was the leader on the day. Now it's the Lagarde. It's up 1-3 still, but it is slipping.
We'll have to decide and we'll have to conduct. But it's an economic natural consequences or second round effect, if you will, of very strict and very high tariffs imposed by.
And look at bonds in the last 10 minutes. It died a little bit more.
China will face a moment where it has overcapacity and it has to ask itself, what do I do with that overcapacity? Where do I sell my goods?
See, so they're aware of it. That's crazy.
It's one option for them, for sure, but it's not for me to speculate.
She's saying what fucking Besant said.
And I hope that a trade deal will be something that can be considered by both partners, the United States and China.
I mean,
so she's aware of it.
Embargo
Holy fuck!
145% tariffs, 125%.
Remind me of that when she's done talking.
How disruptive is that?
Remind me of the China Besant overcapacity.
I think it's
that's crazy.
Too soon to say.
She's very well aware of it.
But they're hopefully, as I said, there will be a trade deal between these two economic giants, and
McDonald's ripping.
Acceptable or
let me go pee. Follow me on Instagram at the Trading Fraternity. Real Code News on Twitter.
But as far as we're concerned, we're going to focus on our business and make sure that our economy is competitive, that our regulatory environment is rock solid but simplified, that we have a stronger and wider capital market union, and that we address all our vulnerabilities as they have arose as a result of the shocks that we're seeing.
It's such a change. When we spoke in Davos at the beginning of this year on a panel, the concern around Europe was Europe is uncompetitive. Europe has too many regulations compared to the U.S., which is exceptional now, deregulation, pro-growth policy. It feels like the tables have really turned, but long term, I do wonder if those questions are still going to plague Europe.
We shall see, and time will tell us whether this sort of whether the Europe's hour that I very much see at the moment will turn into a new Europe that is more competitive, less regulated, more efficient, keeps some of its savings at home to invest in what is necessary.
Is that realistic?
Defense, energy.
So many governments.
It's hard. It's hard. But look, whenever we had major crisis, whether it was in 2008 with the great financial crisis, whether it was with COVID, the Europeans, rolled up their sleeves, pulled up their socks, and delivered something that was totally unexpected. The next generation EU 1 trillion investment, which is being spent at the moment on a joint basis with joint borrowing, we would never have dreamed of this. Well, I think that this is another time when Europe can just grow up and be stronger.
But we are in a technological revolution at the same time, and Europe doesn't have a ChatGPT or Google or an Apple or a Meta. Why is that?
I think it has to do with the fact that there was not so much focus on productivity. So that's number one. Number two, the ecosystem that is so vibrant in this country, in the United States, which combines equity funds, capital venture funds, the innovation around universities, which have played a critical role in those inventions. All that combined created those ecosystems that gave birth to these giants. I think those are conditions that can certainly be recreated. And if Europe is as attractive as it is, with freedom, with stability, with credibility, and the determination to execute on the plans, I'm sure we can do well.
What about
there are other areas, by the way, where Europe is a champion, but I don't want to brag about Europe. I just want to make sure that
I don't want to brag.
You have been a champion of Europe, steadfast champion, which is why you're in the job, I think, in part. But what about a potential end to the war in Ukraine?
Literally none of those things.
I mean, now that there's this U.S. diplomatic push, what would that mean for Europe's economy?
What would that mean?
I think what it means first is peace for people who've been at war. And in particular, peace for the Ukrainian who've demonstrated
Nike getting some candles, very small. We're still just holding up, man.
Determination to fight for their territory.
Really, no other updates. That's why we're listening to this. I mean, it is important, ECB, but
then,
yeah, nothing on the trade deal or anything. It's still early. It's actually 7:30. We're an hour away from Euro close.
Peace will be about. Then it will be reconstruction, and it will mean supporting
Core Weave on the high. They actually got downgraded today, and they just ran. It's up 8%.
And processing the application for European Union membership, which is something that has been decided.
What is your chief mission here in Washington this week? I mean, I feel like the bilateral meetings take on a new importance.
To meet you, that was my first mission.
Besides that, of course, thank you for the time on that. But seriously, as far as talking with U.S. counterparts, how do you think this whole trade situation changes everything?
I think we will go through a period of at least, I don't know how many are left, but probably, 75 further days of trade talking, negotiating behind curtains.
That's actually only 70 highs, but it's up 8%. Jeez.
During this week, but
yeah, more nuclear going up.
And that is unsettling, because it's a period of uncertainty.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I like her voice.
You don't want to invest. You don't want to employ. You don't know where you're going to go.
I was going to go get a carbo.
In terms of economic development.
I just hear her on the speakers. It's very,
I think that
I feel
at
sophisticated.
The end of that period, we need to have a system which at least is predictable.
Like I'm sitting up hella straight right now.
Those are really very strong wishes that happen, that things will not change every other week after that.
Is that why you don't have recession forecast? Because you think that'll happen?
We had a recovery that was sort of taking roots, and hopefully, given the fact that we have this large economic zone, that we trade amongst ourselves a lot, that we're going to expand the trade relationship that we have. Europe is the first trading partner.
Feel like I'm in that Anne Hathaway movie
around the world. This is no small potato,
am I the
and we're
princess?
going to activate those trade
Princess Bride
as much as we can. So. We don't see a recession. No, we don't.
In Europe or the globe?
I'm talking about the euro area for the moment.
Well, Christine Lagarde, thank you so much for coming here first in Washington and spending so much time talking through all these
things. Chevy
Setchel! Always a pleasure. Christine Lagarde, the head of the ECB.
No way,
guys,
Kevin.
We're not done here in Washington. We've got another big interview next hour.
Yeah, Kevin, I'm more hyped that Chevin brought you to the Chad than anything that lady said. So that's amazing, baby. Shout out Chevin. That's a good friend right there. You got long term or what now? That's what we got to get going. Let's go, baby. Well, that was interesting. You got a couple of headlines. It did not disrupt this little rally that you're on. Again, I mean, today was just kind of the exact opposite of yesterday, but with less headlines. We are waiting for a couple of things. Oh, yes, great reminder. Yes. I'm shocked because they're all playing this game, and it's clear. I think even after what she just said, I'm not really shocked. I think it just highlights that I think that Europe is very well aware that this is a negotiation. And I think they're playing all of this shit to their advantage. And they're using the leverage they have because she just said what Scott Bessent said. I don't know if you guys remember last week or 2 weeks ago, it was on the watch list when we heard from Bessent. I told you guys, I was like, man, I said, Bessent, I think his backup plan is China dumping on everybody. Do you remember I said that? Because that's what Bessent was talking about. And he was like, well, I'm the Grinch, so just wait till they negotiate with China and find out that they're going to dump that aluminum somewhere. So we'll see about that. So, yeah, Scott Bessent reminds me of the Grinch, but I love him. He's a smart guy. But he said that, and he was talking about it. But now with Christine Lagarde going up on this interview saying that China has overcapacity and that they need to, send it somewhere, they're very well aware of this. That's a liability. If you're not aware, make no mistake. Yes, you want a good relationship with China. I don't believe that you can just totally exile China and everything's going to be fine. That comes with stuff, but China, you want to work with them. But at the same time, China, I told you guys this, that machine doesn't stop. China is a manufacturing machine. They're not going to just stop producing just because Americans and Europeans, they're going to keep making. They can't stop. You understand? It's just like Russia. Russia cannot stop pumping oil. What do you think is going to happen? It's like your drug dealer. He can't stop selling weed. China has to keep manufacturing, not because we need it, but because they need it. I hope you understand that. So that's why they're saying, if you don't want to negotiate, it's like now we can negotiate, but fine, take a step back. If you don't have a deal, what is China going to do? They are going to dump everything on the world. And that's kind of the whole idea. But the fact that Lagarde is aware of that, I think her leverage has a runway. It'll end eventually. Because pretty much by the time China starts dumping on everybody, I think they're going to start getting pissed. Just, again, nobody's ever liked it. Damn, those Lowe's plays hit. If you got them, shout out to Chad. Yeah, they're up 130 now. But yeah, again, the world got mad before at China. Make no mistake. Because now, right now, you could be like, yeah, we don't like Donald Trump. Yeah, we don't want to do this. But if you have to deal with China dumping on your number one industry from food to manufacturing, I mean, good luck. So someone's going to deal with that. And then I think the problem will switch from Donald Trump's the problem to overcapacity. But I think that's very fascinating. I think it kind of shows where they're at. But yeah, that's what I got out of listening to that. Other than that, it wasn't anything crazy. Not bad, though. Glad to be here. Glad to be here. SPY's going still, though. So run it. Again, energy plays. VST's up. They had a NVIDIA headline earlier in the morning. Oh, yeah. VST's really running. Netflix. That's it. You're up 2%. You're about to literally recover everything. Again, 100 names on the NASDAQ are green. You don't even have Euroclo. Bitcoin above 90. 5253. Again, 61, I believe. 62. You got 10 more points. That'll get us to the level I told you a little earlier. And then if we break that, we could go to the 80s. And if not, we'll be done. And then we're still awaiting a potential India headline, but that's not guaranteed. And then other than that, you got like 4 other Fed speakers still. But they hate you, so you shouldn't listen to them. I don't listen to people who hate me. I say, you don't even care. Amazon, that one's still leading. Flutter, Cigna, Palantir, Robinhood. So, yeah, those are all going. Dude, MSTR. Blech. Remember I whiffed those 300 calls? I sold them out early. Yeah, that'll probably happen if out the money plays, even with a month. It's just because, again, this is all yesterday. All you just pretty much moved exactly how you did yesterday. Instead of going down, you went up. So now practically unchanged. And remember, all of last week, all we did was dance around last week to end pretty much where we started on Friday. So that's where we gotta. The volatility is still elevated, and that's what kind of makes the plays a little wild. Yeah, there's no news this week. Yeah, for real. So that's why. And then buybacks. 30% of companies enter the buyback window now, or they could buy now. So 70% of companies still can't buy. By the end of the month, every company will be able to purchase. But yeah, you don't really have much news. That's why the little fear Jerome Powell thing, that might get in the way. But other than that, there's a little bit of soft data that we get this week, and then we play the game of how the market wants to react. Already on Nike and NVO, looking for more. I love it, baby. Honestly, because if you have a lot of cash and you're hunting, I'm very proud of you. If you actually acted. I finally made my play. I finally got a little bit, but I'm still building my cash. But I'm very, very proud of you who actually, took advantage of the opportunities that this has provided. So, yalla, baby. Yeah, I think I posted it. It's on my Instagram. It's on Twitter. Oh, I haven't put it on YouTube yet. I got to do that now on the YouTube channel. I forgot. Create post. It's pinned on my Twitter. So if you go to my Twitter, my Instagram, or anything. Again, I did it on Thursday. I was just a little late. So literally, it's pinned up there. If you haven't seen it yet, you should. I gave a little bit of an explanation. And then here's all the accounts, the pictures. It's not bad. It's not bad. The small account's doing better than the big account, as usual. All right, let me post this. One, two, three. All right, yeah, it's going to be on the YouTube here in a second. Got you. Yeah. All right. It should be on the YouTube now. YouTube, Twitter. You got a little Instagram video. So, yeah, now you know. But I did grab Mmo. That was on Thursday, 58.40. I like it. I still don't think that's the diamond, though. That's what I said. I said in there. I'm not like, oh, my gosh, that's our diamond right now. Maybe if it goes really low or other things rocket up and that's the only one. But for now, still want to build cash. I had to buy something, man. I told you leading into this year, I was looking for low prices, and we finally got a low price, so I was able to do it. But I still do need to build up cash. So it slowed us down a little, but we did end up getting a little bit of growth now. So not too bad. Dollar General pop. Again, that thing's been on fire the last couple days. 95.90. So it's actually a little higher. And then SPY near the high. Again, Ethereum's running 52.54. You got like 5-6 more points. That'll be the next level. Bought some Disney. I was looking at that one. That one finally went negative. That's why I was like, damn, no way. HDs are still up. Yeah, I don't like any of those other YouTubers. I'm over everybody. So no, I take them as disingenuous promos. So don't include that. Thank you. Well, if they don't tell you to get a long term, they hate you. That's it. And if you don't walk away at the long term, everybody hates you. That's what I've learned in life. SWTX, Barclays acquisition. Aren't they already? I remember we flipped this one. That was earlier this year. Check that, SWTX. Or I think we missed it. I remember seeing this, though. My memory is being triggered. Amazon. All right, man. That's it. One way or another. I'm on a long time. I'm on a long time. That's it, bro. Yeah, everything's looking pretty good. Let me get you the checkup again, but I think it's all 100. Yeah, Dow Jones, 29 green. Only Verizon is red. NASDAQ, 100. 99 now. Global Foundries went red. 99 green, 1 in the red. S&P, 488 green, 15 in the red. USAID will be folded in the State Department. Senior State Department official. State Department official says plan takes many USAID functions and places them under regional bureaus at State Department. They've notified Congress about the reorganization. Only addresses State Department headquarters in Washington. Every time you type in a video, you hear the Active. Man, that's where it's from, huh? Activia or like Expedia.com. Netflix wild, bro. I don't know what to tell you. That one is it makes sense though, bro. Like you can't tariff Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like you can't tariff the damn Black Mirror. So I'm like, I guess. Premium on Tesla is going up. Earnings is today after the bell. So that's why you could play earnings plays. It doesn't always work like that. So it might either change by end of the day or you might just notice that'll happen. So if you've ever watched, go even then, check the video on our earnings strategy and pricing and options. That's what we did at the beginning of 24, $300 into $7 or $9 grand. And that was based off of these strategies and literally coming into earnings. If you do go both ways and it works in your favor, then you just won off of that. But just be mindful. But it's either going to be a win or lose on those. Yeah, man, we chilling. Not bad. Dude, Netflix is disgusting, though. I'm happy. Kroger's still going up again. I don't know. Are they the ones with earnings? Or are they just ripping? Rip. Me and long term off that rip. If UFC goes to Netflix, yeah. I just think in general, I mean, I don't know. I think they already came out with some good stuff. I feel like last year Netflix didn't have good content, but they still did good. Like, again, it's so weird. The year where they had the best movies, everybody hated them. And then the year where they don't do anything, everybody loves them. So I do think content and spending, though. But for now, Netflix is just benefiting off of being insulated. Netflix is not being affected by global trade. It's not the one, I mean, again, it's up on the year. It's domestic, still doing good, and it's not reacting to all of this trade policy. So for now, in the short run, it's just a winner. That's like, I call this in its own little world. This is what we've talked about. That's why earnings, you'll even notice if some companies do good, then you're going to notice they just go in their own little world. It doesn't matter what happens with trade, the news, or anything. It's already confirmed something. And that's even recently. We get this volatility. You just heard from Netflix. you know they're growing. You know their guidance is up. You know their margin isn't going to be affected. You know, in a world where people don't have certainty, Netflix has a decent amount of certainty. So that is what's favorable about it now. But like I said, I would not be buying it at $1,060. That's just not my game. You could flip it, you could trade, but at that point, I think you already missed the short-term opportunity. Charles Schwab is stepping, like actually Charles. So there's no more Charles Schwab. They owe Kevin Spacey because of House of Cards. You're right. Honestly, I remember, I think I was in college the first time I saw Netflix too. Or like, but on like, well, before, once they moved from the DVDs. And I remember House of Cards was like the big, what was the other big show though? I think there was cause I remember back in the day, Netflix, I don't know if you guys remember it. At one point, bro, Netflix had bangers. And I'm not talking about the ones they made. They had every old movie for free. I don't know if you guys remember. And then this was before Disney and everybody had a streaming service. They licensed all their old movies to Netflix for like 3 to 4 years. And then after Netflix made so much money, they were like, what the fuck? Why are we letting you have our content? And then they took back all the licenses. And then Netflix started making their own shit. So this is all the history of Netflix, if you guys don't recall. Again, I've owned Netflix since like 2014, believe it or not. I'm a big fan. Big fan. But they did all of that, bro. And then now, but they used to have every like old they had The Office, Parks and Rec, every huge TV series, old movies, old classics. It was all on Netflix. And then everyone's like, what the fuck? You guys just killed us off of our own content. What? We're not licensing it to you. Google cognizant labor board case is mute, appeals court says. Friends, I remember that. BAH on the high. Booz Allen, that's related to the contracting. They got knocked the other day. Call real estate. Let's out. Bro, Jake, I hope this isn't weird, but I was thinking about you the other day. I was like, bro, low-key, bro. Jake is like low-key. This is like Peach-esque. I was thinking about it, bro. You know that? It would be. I don't want to tell you where I thought about it. Okay, I was just getting out of the shower. I don't know if that makes this weirder, but I was just like, I was thinking, and I was thinking about the Peach, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, Jake from State Farm. Because then I was like, Jake from State Farm. I was like, Cole Real Estate loves you. I said it to myself, bro. But then I'm like, dude, he literally like every fucking day. And I'm like, wait a minute. So, dude, I see you, baby. God bless. Yeah, it's been mad consistent, dog. It's like, that's why I was like, wait a minute, bro. Don't let him hit you with that sleeper. Jake from State Farm. God bless you, baby. I love it, man. You've been doing good. Solid. He's like a good neighbor. He really is there every day. Honestly, fuck the real, the State Farm, because I think they should hire this one, because this is the real one. I feel like Jake from State Farm in the chat is going to be more reliable than if I actually try to call Chris Paul during the middle of an accident. I don't think it's going to work. I don't know if they feel me. Amen. But good morning, baby. I love it. That gets me hyped. That's what I'm saying. That got me hyped, bro. I was thinking about it. I've been thinking about you. Long term. Yeah, Booz Allen. Watch that one. McDonald's been on a damn tear, bro. NRG. What up, baby? Diamond. I know. God willing. Let's see, man. If it comes our way. I don't know the diamond, man. That's why, I think NVO will be a diamond if it goes to, $20 or $40. But for now, it's not there. That's what sucks. It's bittersweet because the only way NVO turns into a diamond, we have to lose more. Otherwise, I mean, again, there's a couple names knocking at the door. Like, I think NVO at 4% yield. I think Nike at 4% yield. Those are all just easy. I don't know if it's already a diamond. I think it's a good company. It's a really good company. And then they just, they went down. And, like, I do think the worries are, like, you guys got to realize, like, Eli Lilly is better than this company. I definitely agree with that. They have a way better drug and product. NVO is the first mover. They have the name, but I'm buying this because of the value. Again, it's down over 50% in the last 6 months. You guys don't think that's wild? So, but I do think, and then again, in a weird way, I talked about this about a month ago. The thing I like about, and this is why I think it's hilarious, the thing about NVO, I like that it's European. As weird as that may sound. Because again, everybody is going to this whole European wave. The dollar just got murdered. All of their earnings are not in the dollar. So I viewed it as kind of a little bit of a hedge to this policy, but it's funny that they touted Eli Lilly over them in Europe in the middle of everything. But it does diversify that. So now you have a major company that does not collect earnings in dollars. So it's risky because if Trump goes after them or if things do bad, and again, Eli Lilly is doing better than them, that's where you're going to underperform. But other than that, if that ends up working, if this was all because of trials, they get back some of that growth, we're going to have growth in our portfolio. Remember, we bought a lot of value, so that's why I like it. Why not ASML? Because I don't want chips. If I'm going to buy a chip, I'm buying Intel. I don't want to buy any expensive ones. So they're down 26%, not bad. But yeah, like this chart's a little bit better. But the only company I've been willing to buy that is at 2021 highs or something, it's NVO, bro. This is going to sound, I like drugs. I guess growing up, I did have a drug problem and I learned a lot about myself. But I also like in the stock market drugs. I like biotechs and healthcare. And I think they're really, really powerful industries. I mean, again, one of our best ones that we got was Abivai. So one of my first long terms that we stole, it was literally one of these products. I was saying Botox, and I was saying Humira. And again, people would tell me, they're like, no, Humira, you're going to lose. It's going to go away. But I just like the product. And if I know it's used wildly and it has that popularity and it's already in a big addressable market, those are usually good. But NVO is a big company, and that's been the only one I've been willing to do. Ozempic will go generic eventually, but yeah, they have a lot of good stuff though, and I think we're gonna ride this wave for another decade. You don't have any retirement accounts. Do you think it's a good idea to start a Roth? Yes, it is. So are you self-employed or do you have a company? So talk with your tax guy if you have one, but yeah. That's not, if you don't have an IRA or a 401k right now, why not? You could, even if you are self-employed, you could set up a Roth IRA, and you could do that pretty easily. So yeah, do it on Robinhood. Just don't do it on Webull. That's it. I've had people ask, again, I'm not really the biggest fan of Robinhood, but I don't really mind them in that sense. But I just would not entrust my retirement to Webull if possible. I think it is SEP IRA is if you own it. Takeda. Oh, I want a Japanese company. That would be nice. But then I'm worried because now we have Baba. Now we have NVO. It's like, bro, that's a lot of foreign shit. I don't know. I don't like doing too much foreign, but, it's like we add Japan before you know it. We're going to have like 15, 20% of our portfolio in overseas. AFL, nah. The one you brought up, Mose, that one is I like MTN, bro. When you brought that up on my radar, I liked it a lot. I like MTN a fuck ton. I think that's a great one, but I'm just worried about the whole ski pass bubble. But I like it. It's real estate. It has the travel. It's like a different Airbnb. And that's what I was telling you guys for such a long time. I think some people really, I do like Airbnb a lot, but at the same time, like, I am a fan of travel. I hope you guys realize that. You know, travel industry is fire. And that's what I'm saying here. These are, oh, wait. Which one is that? Oh, what? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I like travel. So MTN, that one was very intriguing. Who's the other one? Pizza. That was another one I wanted to buy. But these are all new names. Pizza, bro. I think pizza, I don't know, man. I kind of still want to buy it, to be honest with you. Let me check the, wait, didn't they have a bad payout ratio? But this one has M&A rumor, and it has a dividend yield, and it's fucking pizza. Let me check. Yeah, Domino's too expensive, though. So just like, again, is Domino's the better company? It is. Just like Eli Lilly is the better company than NVO. But we are still upholding our value goal, a.k.a. not trying to buy premium. Getting healthier pizza won't be good. That's why we have both. Imagine we get NVO, then we get pizza. Dude, are you kidding me? So if they get healthy, we make money. And then if they get fat, we make money. And then if they start smoking cigarettes, we make money. And then if the Ozempic makes their skin saggy, they got to Botox that shit, and then we make money. You see what I'm saying? And then all of this, they got to keep the money in the bank. So we got JP Morgan, then we still make. See what I'm saying? That's the general idea. So maybe it works. You know, one way or the other. A little diversification. You see what I'm saying? Huge fan of REITs. I like REITs. I just right place, right time, and you got to really understand the portfolio of what they're holding. So as long as that's the case, I don't think I understand AGNC. I need to look at what they own. But like I said, until bond volatility calms down, it's going to be a rough ride. I like the MTN. I really do. I think that Mosby brought it up a couple weeks ago, and I started looking at it, and I was like, dude, this thing is actually like, and I love their portfolio. I love the Vail Resorts. I don't love them because they're so expensive, but anywhere you'd ever want to go for any snow activity, it's an MTN property. Any of the top places right now and for the last decade. For half a decade, because they bought a lot. Ooh, yeah, but MTN's payout ratio is 130. So in July 2022, it was 65. Then by January 23, it went up to 92.90. And then from April 23 till today, payout ratio is above 100%. So they're paying out more. ARM on the high. ARM kind of ripping through 100. SPY working its way up to well, that's why I think they have a high divvy. They pay out a lot, but now, I mean, again, they're paying out more of their profits. ARM, SPY, ripping. I think we're past that 61. Yeah. So that's it. You broke that first level. Next level is like 82, bro. So let's see. Yeah, Ethereum. I mean, look at Bitcoin, 91.5. Oil, NASDAQ, everybody's killing it. I didn't realize I had some other ones there. Should you be scared of this? No. All I'm saying, we're trying to figure out whether or not we've gone past peak volatility. I call it the panic zone. I don't think you need to be like scared, but that's really all we're trying to find. If you missed yesterday's watch list, you can watch it. You're a member. Just go to this channel. I'd give it a run through and you'll be good. And then the Webull question, my strong opinion is I would never touch Webull. Am I going to explain it? No. Because I've learned it's like trying to tell people that their girlfriend cheated on them. If we're not close and you don't trust me, it's not a good conversation. So I don't think it's my right to tell you guys. I'm not going to tell you about your relationship because you have an intimate relationship with your brokerage. It's more intimate than most. Your broker, some of you have told your broker more than you have told your partner. So at the end of the day, yeah, Scheinbaum, we don't agree with IMF economic vision. Mexico will stimulate countries' economic growth. Yeah, let me show you. I'll show you another one. Look, I forgot. This one came in yesterday. Oh, hold on. I got to like blur it out. Or I think I might have deleted it. This BS, bro. Oh no, here it is. No, yeah, but pretty much some YouTuber sent me this email trying to offer this promotional thing, and he's like, I'm a finance YouTuber with 80,000. If we partner up, we can make $2,000 a person, and then you do this, and then we send them here, and then you can make up to 20,000 a month. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, just be careful out there. But I'm not a big fan of, again, your brokerages. There is some part of that relationship you got to figure out on your own. The hell of a drug. That was interesting because usually it's the company, but now they got the YouTuber that already did the affiliate reaching out to other YouTubers to try to get more. But that's what I'm telling you. There's just this whole entire industry. A lot of it is based on if it's not taking your money through the market maker, everyone's going to try to sell you some. And again, I do think Webull fits into that conversation. Oh, pizza popping? Well, that shit just popped up $1 from me telling you guys. Holy shit. Bro, do I have market influence? What the fuck? Do I really have the juice like that? Because that's crazy, bro. It just popped up like $1. I didn't. Damn. Yeah. Well, see, I just tell you what I think because I think it. I don't have any exposure to that or not, but yeah, amen. Amen. I didn't think I got it like that. I like it for the long term. I don't know. I said I was tempted. You're going to have your own show on Bloomberg one day? I will not. I will not work for these people. I will never. I work for you, Chad. The real ones, I hope you guys know that. I love you. You guys have no idea. The real one, I fucking love you guys. You have no idea. Because I will never do anything for those people. Fuck them all. You have no idea. I mean that so strongly, too. It's like, because that's why. That's why any of y'all who take shit, repackage it, and sell it, you a hoe. You know that? Because it's for the vision is for the people who really, want it and need it. And that's where I've always been about. And some of y'all, bro, y'all some real-ass people, and I love it. Y'all have my back. I got your back. I would work for you. I'll do a show for you. That's what I'm saying, man. Thank you to all my members, bro. For real. You guys didn't have to, but I would never. I get it now. That's what I'm saying. That back in the day, I would have been more like, oh, yeah, that's cool. But nah, I see with the Lord, like, for real. I would never work for those people. Fuck that. So my language is still messed up, but I know in my heart, though, that those people, nope. Well, I don't think I'll go. I'm already Hollywood. I've been Hollywood, but in a different way. But yeah, fuck that. Fuck the establishment. Get a long term. We will change the world through private property and becoming owners. Let's do it, baby. Amen. 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 Finger to the sky. Welcome, Danny. Thank you. I appreciate it, man, for real. And those of you with or without any dono or nothing, like I'm saying, just real involvement. Really being about that life, man. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. Oh, I forgot. I think these ones are free. Trump on Truth Social spoken to Israel. Call went very well. I don't think it'll be that market moving. DJ T Pop. See news my grandfather's in critical condition? No. Bro, I will keep prayers up, Chad. Prayer warriors. Pray for Thieves' grandpa. Oh, man. Well, hey, bro. Tell him you love him. Go talk to him if you can. And, you know, it's a sad moment, but be grateful that you even have an opportunity right now where you could even say goodbye if worst case scenario. And, you know, and that's valuable. You know, I've lost people before and you never even get that chance. So, you know, I hope it turns out well. But definitely, you don't need fuck the stock market. You know what I'm saying? And be on there. You'll be good, bro. But prayers up. Yeah, man. That's why you got a prayer army, bro. Don't feel me. All right, high ticker, full gas. That's right. Again, you got the truth there on BB. BB, I made the grinded look easy. All right, man. Full meltdown mode. I whiffed them cues, dog. I'm going to look. Yeah, I could have doubled. I could have made an extra $2 now. Whiff Rooney. Oil running. Yeah, 3 of you guys just called that. Oh, wow. Yeah, like actually. Was there oil numbers? I think we have a 2-year bond auction today. Damn. Spy melted, but look at that oil candle. And bonds already dead. Netflix still holding. You remember? That was that day, bro? No way. Oh, man. That's crazy. Y'all some warriors, though. Let's go, baby. Keep pushing. Now you're doing it for something bigger. STXC. Hold on, I need to check. Oh my gosh, why is the long term ripping today? I just logged into the long term. I need to see something. How can we help? Bring my portfolio up. No, that doesn't work. I just said, how can we help? Liars. You in the chat. Closing on a house for under 100K market value. Amen. Let's go, baby. Wow. I love it. You believe Josh cares about our future more than we do. Refuses to sell it out for the capital. Very rare. The best place to be. Thank you for everything and pay the plug. Thank you, man. For real. Like I'm saying, and even then, my whole thing, I even said on the watch list yesterday, I was like, if I told you I know what's going to happen, would you believe me? I love Gus. He was like, yeah. I'm like, don't believe anybody, and that's what I've tried to teach you guys, even through like the whole don't show my face thing, even why I've hesitated earlier to even talk about some of my beliefs. It all boils down to, I want you all, don't ever take somebody based on whatever they say. You judge them by the fruit, all right? So no matter what, in the moment you see me start really, if I give you sour fruit and I hurt you, don't ever use a title to ignore that. You know what I'm saying? And that goes for everybody, no matter who it is. People always claim and say stuff and act one way and do the next. So no matter what, man, that's why the whole don't show your face thing, that should establish this. You should always never trust anybody, man, and always be alert. And like I said, I'll have your guys' back, but you have to be in the mindset and prepared that nobody's coming. Nobody is going to help you. Josh ain't going to help you. Nobody will. All you have is your skill, your brain, and God. That's it. God first, too. Don't even get me started. But so, amen, man. But I appreciate it for real, bro. I'm sure you see all the comments, both good and bad, but I like the appreciative ones, man. And like I said, you guys already got me hyped prior. So that's fucking good and bring me. Oh, what? Did that not fill? Okay, hold on. Okay, I didn't realize. Yeah. I had a different set of Reddit calls. I just sold them 50%. That wasn't the one I made earlier. I do look at, bro, I love it. I had a Chad like tell me it was fake. Dude, I love it. I'm telling you, I never had that happen in my life. Usually I've been so like average. I've never had anybody tell me I edited my photo. But yeah, I like it. We out here, bro. We out here. That'll pay for the other one. 2 more months for the mystical page. Isn't that crazy, bro? God bless you, man. Thank you for 3 years. My goodness. My goodness. Those HTs are still up. What I miss? Are you sick? Bro, everyone's getting sick. Lending Tips got sick. Bro, I was not feeling good in LA, but then again, I think that was the oregano oil. But nothing. We kind of did the opposite of yesterday, and you literally went 100 names green on the NASDAQ versus literally none red, and then yesterday was 90% red, but it wasn't really off of anything. We got to hear from Lagarde, but there wasn't anything crazy, just a little bit of reverse the sell-off we had yesterday. You were sick. I don't remember. I got sick like 3 weeks ago. But like that was, I got better, and then like I don't know, I just like randomly would just feel tired, and then I got over it, and then other people started getting sick. But yeah, I think there's a little bit of that going around. Army would be Navy in Halo 3. I have no idea. That may have been nerd induced. No, that was like sick. Dude, I haven't gotten sick in like a year and a half. That was the first time, but then it was bad. But then I don't know what the hell. It's been going around. Home Depot. Yeah, those plays are up. Again, that low, if you got it on that stream alert, those fucking doubled. So the plays on the whole chain were up 60, and then now they're all up like 150. We're going to try to play on Friday. We'll see. I have a lot in store for Friday. We got to set up the quiz. We got to figure out a game. So, yeah. I do not rock the gloves at the gym, no. It was nice, though. I wasn't against it, but I did move on. Oh, Cornell. What up, baby? What up? UBS Banks again? Then Carvana. All right, let me try something. Please hold while we connect your long term. ARGT. All right, you're running. Yeah, that's crazy. Hold on, I'm trying to do math. SPY cranking. Dude, it's looking great. That's not gonna work. Okay, bro, you're running Meta, Schwab, Banks, Pfizer, Flutter. Dude, high ticker's gassed. So again, everything is already in the green. Mm-hmm. NVIDIA. I don't like HIMs for the long term. Not at all. You could always add it if it ever came lower, but that's on you, bro. I don't even care about my hairline in real life anymore. You know what I'm saying? Oh, those little fuckers. Chad, I have crazy news for you. I did it, bro. I'm a piece of shit. Uh-huh. Oh, I bought it on the wrong account. Fuck. Hold on. There it is. All right, I bought it on the wrong account. I got to sell it off of the... I guess maybe we'll keep it on the random. Why not? Fuck it. Yeah, I did it. I got the juice, bro. And it popped already. Dude, I bought it. I think some of you figured out what I was doing because I just bought it on Fidelity. And I bought it at 30, and then it popped up $1. But I did something different. I don't know if you guys are going to pick up on it, but I did add to the long term. Very, very random. I know. This is the problem, you guys. This is the problem. I have this cash. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. I suck. Now I gotta make another fucking video. Now I gotta post another one of these things, bro. It's bullshit. All right. So, I did it. Not a recommendation. You will lose money. I added to the long term again. Your boy has trouble holding his cash. I have trouble holding the cash, bro. We do have another, but here's what I did. I did not go big. I only used half a deposit. Yeah, I did it live in front of you guys. But I only did half a deposit. So I only grabbed 5 shares on the small account, 5 on Colt Sister, and then 50 on the big account. I could have bought 100 shares for one deposit, but that way I don't want to buy. Still want to build cash, but I do like that one and everything going on. So I like the balance. Other than that, yeah, it's just keeping it small. I'm not going as big, though. So that's the big difference, is that it's not a full deposit. We're not waiting. Or didn't throw a big amount. I just kind of like Redfin. I'm just a very, very smaller amount. Again, even $150 on the small accounts. It's not anything crazy, but I do like it. So, and I think I've known about it and will hold it for 10 years. I honestly think it's just going to get bought out before then, to be honest with you. So, and then their payout ratio's in the 70s. So it's not even that bad. To see that, yeah. Well, again, that was the rumor earlier. Last time we brought it up, you heard about the Saudis, but it's been holding. You're ahead of it on the dividend. I've been to Papa John's like 7 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. So yeah, that's the only risk, is I don't really use Papa John's. Have I in college? I did, but I don't know recently. I just don't eat pizza anymore like that. I eat Costco pizza. And over a decade, yeah. I mean, I had it once after college. Yeah, pizza last night. Well, either way, I'm keeping it small. That's why. So even with the goal of keeping cash, building out all of it, like I said, I mean, I think this could offer an interesting upside, but I'm keeping it smaller. I'm not as committed, nor do I want to put too much in there, if that makes any sense. Yeah, Costco, you just got to wait till it drops. I mean, again, though, like, you guys realize this stock is clobbered to on the year? So you're getting it 30%. Like, again, it meets all my criteria. That's it. Only downside is just it's shitty. That's it. You haven't had Papa John's in a while, and that's all. It's just not as exciting. Spot drop in. Euro, yeah, Euro close right now. So again, you melted up till Euro close, got back about 2% of yesterday's sell-off, and now we are here. Why not? I want Nike. I have a lot of Nike already. But like I'm saying, I think this offers its own unique thing. If you want Nike, go buy it. Again, you guys don't need to wait for me. And I do like Nike. I have more Nike than I have NVO. I have more Nike than I have pizza. I have more Nike than I have many things, actually. We have more Coca-Cola or more Nike than Coke. So, yeah. For Intel. Yeah, you got a 5250. That's amazing. No, you have to turn on dividend reinvestment on Fidelity. Gold flushing. It's funny. People were talking about gold. Look at bonds catching a bid. Interesting. From Florence. Ooh. Nothing really happened. Again, we just kind of had this little bounce up. It was kind of the exact opposite of yesterday, but today just didn't really have any news. A little bit of relief. The rest of the world is open. We got to hear from Lagarde. We might hear stuff. Hertz on the high. We might hear some stuff from India. There's a little bit of that was talked about in the morning, but we didn't really get full details. And other than that, kind of just chilling. And then I added to the long term 2 days in a row. I feel like a cuck. EU may issue first Meta Apple DMA fines on Wednesday. HB, that's coming out now, but they're not reacting. Remember when Lagarde was talking, we saw a little bit of that. Just added NVO. No, I did not. So, Spencer, you were the liberal giving me liberal shit the other day on the watch list. You remember that? And now I just did something live in front of you, and you're confusing people. How did you miss that? So I'm going to have to ban you now. But to make sure you don't misinform anybody or yourself, I bought 50 shares of pizza on the big account, and then I grabbed the 5 on the other ones. No, it was you. Don't try to act like it wasn't. Thank you. The Chad Vax is real. Other play was pizza. That's why I just made it. Like, literally, like, right now. Fresh out the oven. Isn't that funny? It was a long-term pickup, but I kept it smaller. So I went with only 50 shares, half a deposit, because I don't want to use my cash. But I was looking at pizza even the other day, and it was a little lower, and I just said, you know what? I need to throw a little seed. Not a big one, but I do want a little exposure. New long-time activity. Tesla, it sucks because the last time we were like, oh, Tesla was going to be small. Remember, it pretty much goes 2-3 earnings are going to be nothing, and then 1 earnings will be big. That's literally the only problem with trying to figure out Tesla, is what I have noticed. All right, look at the bonds. On Euro close, bonds just caught a bid. We danced around a little bit, but I think that one's kind of fascinating. I like Intel. Somebody was asking me about chips, and that's really the only one I'd buy. Surprisingly, my long-term exposure to it's not as big, but I am a fan of it. Why are you calling UMAD a teacher's pet? Do you know UMAD listened to me for years, and it was nothing to do with being a teacher's pet? He just did exactly what I said, even better, and added his own to it, and then became one of the top performing agents in Canada. Do you understand what you're saying? My man is a professional, running business, making a lot of money. Do you know how many times he closes on a fucking Canadian house? Do you know how much their houses are? So yeah, you picked the wrong guy to go after. He didn't even say anything back to you. I did. So yeah, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Sound like you're mad. That sounds about right. Just closed on one, baby, in 2 days. I'm fucking insane. You blow my mind, bro. You blow my mind. I'll say, some of y'all, if you were teachers' pets, you would have done better. That's the point, in a way, so, nah, I like it. That sucks, bro. I just posted the whole long-term. I got to do this again. Verizon on the high. Remember, that was the only name that was red on the Dow. Is 100 shares of Intel overkill? It just all depends on your deposit. Again, it's a $19 stock, so technically 100 shares would be like one deposit or less than that on the big account. So it all just depends. It's less than your deposit, but it's been over time. Yeah. Then then you're fine. So yeah, I don't think it's overkill. Remember, nothing is, don't look at the amount. Look at it all in context of how much you're saving. Which again, I don't care if I get 1 share, 5 shares. That doesn't matter. It matters about the ownership. You have found a 2-bedroom apartment in New York for $200K? Should I close? Yeah. I mean, I think cash, that sounds like it's way below value, or just make sure it's not like a co-op or income controlled. So if that's not income or rent-controlled property, I think you might have a deal on your hands. But if it is like one of those co-ops, or if it comes with like income restriction, I probably wouldn't even buy that house. So be careful of that. But other than that, if it has instant equity, loan or cash is really going to be up to you. If you're going to live in it, you may want to do loan if you don't want to tie up that capital. But then again, loans are going to be expensive. If you can't qualify, you could always use the cash, have that equity, and then refinance or HELOC if you ever really do need that other stuff. So as long as the equity has value and is good there, I think that's kind of the most important part. Whoa, DXCM. Bro, what's this? This has to be bad news related to like diabetes or something. Again, that has been one of those. Oh, these are kind of expensive already. Yeah, they're expensive. You could go for the weekly near the money if you'd like, but I don't know. That's either going to flip or develop into something big. Again, they've had drama. Yeah, bonds just woke up. That euro close, literally from euro close, bonds went from getting half of the move that they sold off. Off context. I mean, so I'll answer this question because it kind of relates to money. But let's save any off-topic stuff for Philo, or when we're done with the Philo for the Q&A segment. But I would never give them another chance. What are you talking about? If an employee stole money, why would I give them a second chance? You're better than me, man, but I would not. I think that's a foolish idea. I would forgive them. I wouldn't hold it against them, but I don't think that would be a smart idea to put them in a position to be handling that again. If that makes any sense. Phil. What up, baby? Yeah, I think I did. I told you that. I gave a different example for it, but yeah. I'll forgive people, but I wouldn't put them in the same position. That sucks. I feel bad because now I made these back-to-back long-term plays. So now when I pin it to my Twitter, people are going to miss the NVO one. But I guess that's their fault for not staying up to date. But yeah, it's on my Twitter. It's on the YouTube channel. So if you did not get a text already and you're not part of the long-term alerts, if you go here to the post tab, you could see both plays. Again, the account, how they look versus. And then you could go through, see everything I own, and it's organized. It's literally organized based on the size in the portfolio. And then if you also go to my Twitter, it should be pinned. See, that's the Fidel. I got to pin this one now. But yeah, so it's all there. I'll post a video on Instagram too. But Point is, you should know. You don't need to rush anything, too, and hopefully you have your own long-term plan. Yeah, I just joined. No, you joined this one. You're at the right one. This is where the watch list will be, and then you get all the other benefits as well. Ta-da! I always dividend reinvest. You should, too. Not a recommendation, but I think dividend reinvestment is the best thing in the world. Better, man. Oh, man, I appreciate you, bro. And enjoy it. Enjoy your vacation. And I'm glad you're using it to spend some time reflecting, man. You know, that's I got to reflect, too. I enjoyed it thoroughly. So, hey, man. Chirp. Started a lot. Dude, I love it, bro. And I'm telling you, like, it's funny because every day I piss somebody off. You know that? Every day I just piss a motherfucker off. It's not my goal, but I do not give a shit. You know why? Because every day I've also gotten somebody starting a long term. I got some email of somebody saying, Josh, bro, thank you. I had one yesterday that said, thank you for all of my timeouts and bans. I am now changing my life, and I'm not going to make the same mistakes. And they weren't talking about the Chad. They were talking about gambling, and I love it, bro. What are you fucking telling me? That's what I'm here for, dude. That's what I'm here for, not the little crybabies on anything. It's like, and I know maybe some of you didn't like me at first, but believe me, I take a lot of joy, and I'm rooting for you, for those of you who are making good decisions in your life. And those of you who are finally like, you know what, man? Nah, because some of you had enough time, bro. You've seen me for half a fucking decade. I had another email, and he was like, dude, I've known you for 5 years. I tried every fucking course in this. He was even saying, he's like, I want to buy Stream Alerts. And honestly, don't buy Stream Alerts. You don't have to. If you sit here, get a long-term lock-in, we're going to make some fucking money, bro. Like, that's it. You don't need to keep. I've never tried to sell you guys a pipe dream. These motherfuckers try to take shit and sell it to you and get you hyped up in gas. It's like, no, man. It's very simple. If you don't buy Stream Alerts, you shouldn't buy anything from anybody. That's how I feel about it. Because if you are going to spend money on this dumb shit in the stock world, then you better buy Stream Alerts. Otherwise, you don't need it. Very simple. Lock in. Let's get you a long term. I know I'm an annoying guy. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not trying to push anything on you of my religion. I just want you to get a fucking long term and have a good financial life, and you'll see. You'll be a positive person. You'll be a lot happier and easier, and it'll reflect on you. And again, I hope you take care of yourself. Be healthy. All of these things, man. Again, private property. Amen. So either way, it does suck that people don't always vibe, but hearing from you guys, dude, I'm telling you, man, this year, and remember what got me excited with the long terms too. You guys sent me what you had, and I said, wow. I said, we've really accomplished a lot, man, and we're not done, but I was so amazed because all the times I thought people didn't really listen, they did. And the times I thought people listened, they didn't. You know, I'm telling you, straight Bible parables, bro, but like every single day, bro, I've been hearing stories like this. Even yesterday, like I'm saying, I got a couple of emails, bro, and I love it. I really, really do. And believe me, that's what I'm about right now. And to see you guys make a change, that's it. Go drop everything. I don't care. I don't care if I banned you. I don't care. No, it's all bullshit. It's all nonsense. Foo-foo. You see what I'm saying? What matters is your soul and your life and being secure and safe, and you actually doing that with your ability and time and making the most of your time and what you're doing. And to see some of you fucking put down what's not good for you and to stand up and say, you know what? I'm going to fucking save some money. I'm going to take care of myself and I'm going to stop gambling. My brother, I salute you. And you are well on your way to becoming a leader. And you are well on your way to getting the things you want. And I think some of you, this time around, you have been handed this fucking test and you're not failing it. And you actually get it this time. And I think you're realizing it. And guess what, my brother? This is where rewards happen. It's not going to be easy, but that you are entering into a different door. And it's a narrow road, but I'm telling you, that's the one you want to be on. and it's going to be hard, and we talked about it yesterday, is going to feel like, it's not going to feel good, dude. Trust me, you're going to feel like you're missing out. You're going to feel like you're giving things up. But that long run, when the dust settles, when enough time goes on, you're going to walk away with something. And like I've been telling all of you from the beginning of the year, that's what I'm here for. You got to walk away with something. That's it. We're not getting in the stock market to lose all of our money and not walk away with assets. Are you kidding me? You think I got into the stock market to listen to these fuckheads on TV talk me out of owning stuff? No. Maybe we make some trades. Maybe there's opportunity. I'm walking away with something. I'm going to own it. And all of us will. And that's all we got to do, baby. So, amen. But good work, bro. That's what I'm saying. I like that message. You inspired that rant. And, I'm seeing them in the chat. I'm seeing them privately in my email. And again, I'm also seeing negativity as well, but fuck all that. That's why I've been telling you, I don't give a fuck. I don't even care if I got a fucking stalker. Fuck y'all. Do you not see these results that I'm seeing? And I'm seeing people do good things in their life, and we're only going to do more? Fuck that. I'm ready, baby. So God bless y'all, man. Keep it up. Let's go. And you're not done. Remember, you could always get touched. So that means you could get clapped at any moment. Be prepared. Be ready for disappointment, and let's get it, baby. Let's go, baby. We have a long way to go. And SPY just ripping again. Euro closes 20 minutes ago. Had that little sell, and then we just came right back up. Nice early. That wasn't Philo. That was just responding to the chat, man. Let's go, man. I'm excited, and I'm glad. And the next couple of years, man, God willing, let's do bigger and better. And some of y'all, that's what I'm saying. Handle these tests. Handle what life is showing you. Learn, develop your character, because the sooner you do that, the sooner you're going to get these opportunities as well. And I think these next few years are going to be there's going to be a lot more development. Some people will take some steps back too. So enjoy it. HD. The $1 million raffle email? No, I did not see that. Hey, Grab. It is an Airbnb, Habibi. The after Easter pump. It's not there yet, but let's see. I think by the end of the week, we'll find out. Ant-Man or Luca? Luca. But then I like Ant-Man a lot, but I do think Luca. I think Luca's a next level talent. I'm mad that he got a little fat, and and he needs to do some more cardio. But nah, Luca's him. Did you see Ant-Man yelling at the crowd? He was beefing with the fans. I like that. I said that feels like me when I clap back at the Chad sometimes. He literally said, "Mine is bigger than yours," to a fan in the stands, bro. I was like, what? So, yeah, it was a fun time. All right, I need to go pee, though. Follow me on Instagram, at The Trading Fraternity. Real Cult News on Twitter. Again, all of these have the long-term stuff, too. If you missed it, we did add to the long-term today. Again. I know. Yeah, I'll be right back.
And domestically, right? And we can see that there's definitely been international selling of U.S. bonds in that data. What you can't see very often is whatever hedging is going on. So whoever owns U.S. assets and can hedge that by selling currencies in the forward market, that is very, very hard to capture in the data. And what often happens is that international investors that have big positions, the first thing to do is to do the FX hedging. So anecdotally from our chief investment officer network, what we are picking up is that there's been a lot of FX hedging. So essentially international investors that are selling dollars forward because it's hard for them to touch their credit portfolio or other illiquid assets that are hard to get out of. So the FX hedging is often what comes first.
So what do you think happens here? How far does this go before we start to hear talk of stepping in? Because no policymakers ever want to see extreme one way or the other.
No, so it's a good question, right? So normally when we have market instability of the nature we've seen, then the Fed is not very far away. But everything is kind of different this cycle, right? Like inflation is higher than we've seen for a long time. And also I think from the Fed's perspective, like this is sort of a market instability that's caused from a policy. It's not an external shock like the COVID shock, right? So does the Fed really come in and sort of put a Band-Aid on market instability that's caused by a certain policy shift, especially on tariffs? It's not something they would be as comfortable with. So I think they're going to be deliberately more cautious, not as proactive. And I think that means that we shouldn't expect to get too much help from the Fed anytime soon. So I think the market is on its own. And I think the key focus, and that's also what we're seeing in the market from day to day, right, is could we get any trade deals? Could we get any signals that the administration is taking a step back from the most
to biotech, but it just went 50%
to get deals done?
No idea what it is.
To come down from the extreme level we saw announced on April 2nd. So that's what I think is more the rescue mechanism rather than the Fed coming in with a surprise rate cut or something like that.
Speaking of deals, Jens, I wonder what you think the perfect mix is of a deal that's credible but not too specific, because it's hard to imagine that they will have had the time to run through all of the codes to get specific, even if it's just a bilateral.
Yeah, as you know, right, a trade deal can often take many years to negotiate. So a full trade deal is hard to get done in a couple of days. And certainly when you have, many different negotiations going on in many different countries at the same time. So what we can get is some headlines that say, okay, some key parameters of a trade deal has been agreed in principle, as opposed to anything signed and inked. So we're hoping for like headlines that give sense of deals getting closer. And we've had that today with some comments around India. And it will be important to see if there's any news around Japan. We had worse news around that on the weekend, but the EU is also the big one, right? The US-EU relationship is big, and we've not heard anything particularly positive there. So that would be really what would be more market moving. And I think unlikely that the Fed comes in and do something that is going to help the market, but these snippets of hints that trade deals are being worked out and we're stepping away from the most extreme trade war.
Is there any currency out there that
How come
that
this
you
guy?
think
Whoa!
is too expensive or anything?
All right, you're getting a popper
really
right now. Something just snapped to the upside. Check currencies.
Run here, as you
VIX
said,
is
like
dying.
10% on the dollar is a big move. It doesn't happen.
Hold
that
on,
often,
I'm
right?
checking
So this is a big
currencies
one.
before I play.
And it would not
Yen
be
dropping.
surprising if we have a little bit of
That's it.
retracement
Euro a
back
little
to this
bit.
hope
It's
for
something,
trade
Baba.
deals, right? But I think the
Yo,
bigger
China.
issue is that in the background,
It's going to be China.
you have
Look for
asset
China
owners,
news.
pension funds, insurance companies, sovereign wealth funds that take a long time to move their portfolios around, and they've just started. They've done some hedging, right? But there's going to be asset selling. So
Baba, I think that's going to be the one.
Of a clear improvement.
They're already up 100. I don't know what the fuck that is.
The dollar in a medium-term
news.
sense over the next 2, 3, 4 months.
Bessent sees de-escalation with China.
Still,
that's it. Just
those
rumor.
Asset owners around the world that had too much exposure going into this year and are uncomfortable with the basic nature of U.S. policy mix at this point in time.
Well, it's a really good snapshot as to what you're seeing behind these price moves. Thank you very much, Jens Nordvig from Exante. And on that note, Carl, it's obviously a huge topic of conversation here, and that is the appeal or relative appeal of U.S. assets, of the U.S. dollar.
I grabbed a Baba.
World Bank meetings. We were hoping to bring.
I got a decent one. There's already a lot of activity. They're already up 100 though. It's still. I'm literally fluctuating right now between break even and not. They didn't move after the first pop.
Of course, because the big news today, Carl.
No one's even talking about this yet. We're listening to CNBC.
Growth, a downgrade for U.S. growth.
But yeah, everything just kind of went nuts.
On the back of all these trade issues, not recession, but that's the backdrop here as everybody comes to try to negotiate.
Indeed. Speaking of downgrades, Sarah, I think one element that we didn't really talk about much today was the relative performance of names that were downgraded.
This is all Bessent comment coming out now.
UPS, UNH, eBay, Kraft Heinz, all really not down, even in the wake of some of those downgrades.
Dude, it's a weird comment. It's Bessent, but it might get faded. Sees de-escalation with China, but then he said the situation is unsustainable.
Staples and healthcare is somewhat recessionary as well.
Let's get to the judge at Post 9.
Carl, thanks so much. Welcome to the Halftime Report. I'm Scott Wapner, front and center this hour, the rebound for stocks. The Dow, though, still pacing for its worst April since 32. We'll discuss and debate the road ahead for this market with the investment committee. Joining me for the hour today, Josh Brown, Stephanie Link, Rob Sechin, Jim Lebenthal. Show you the markets here. We do have
they're talking. I want to wait for this. I'm trying to post that Instagram video for
you. Have yields down, so the backdrop.
Yeah, that news that just came out. Bessent comment.
News.
China pop. It's a decent one. Are they talking about it?
The market that we're in right now.
I don't think they know it yet.
Those items.
Yeah, they don't say. They haven't figured it out yet.
Having as much to do with the market direction as anything. Rob, I guess I go to you first. What stems the selling in this market? What gets us out of this current environment? JP Morgan's trading desk today says
those are ripping now 50%.
We feel a completed trade deal is the only catalyst that can break the market out to the upside, and we'd still need resilient macro data and solid earnings. And we really aren't able to check any of those boxes at the moment.
Not at the moment, but I do think that clarity is.
Yeah, I made my Baba free.
It's just a question of
when.
That
was a banger.
And right now,
it was only 50% off the high, but I played it a little bigger,
to figure out what's going to happen. On the one end, you also have kind of a cap, not only a technical cap, at 5,500, but a valuation cap, right? There is not a lot of
him saying. I understand what you're getting at. Where you might be like, he just said it's unsustainable. Why would that not be bearish? Do you guys remember a statement I've told you? When central bankers panic, the market calms down, and vice versa. When central bankers are calm, the market panics. So he just said, we might get it. We need to calm down China. He's saying that's unsustainable. What does that sound like? That sounds like he's worried. So if he's getting worried, that's bullish for markets because that means motherfucker's going to do something about it. But then again, you live in a world right now where, look, you just heard them live and they're like, well, that's just the market we're in now. People don't know what's going on. So just like we've seen this, I would take this as kind of a rumor. I wouldn't read too much into it. That's why I made my play free already. Let's get in and get out, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah, they went up another. They were at 100 when I bought them. You couldn't get them any cheaper than that. And then they went up another 50%. So other than that, I was better than the SPY, though. SPY was crazy. Oh, Bessent's at a JP Morgan conference? Which one? Get me the name of the conference. I could probably pull it up. Or if you could let me know who's there. What is the calendar? That was crazy, but look, you're running now, and then again, a lot of other names. So let's see if that, remember even the buybacks, he has risen, all that. Bessent comments at JP Morgan event in Washington. Conference. EU Commission looking at legal options to allow companies to break Russian gas contracts without facing penalties. Bro, the Babas are higher. Oh, those little scammers. So you got more for the Baba here than you did at the top. So literally that same contract is going for higher, or it's around when I sold it, even though it dropped another 50 cents. EU Commission considering options for EU roadmap phasing out Russian energy. Are they talking about
and calls for a more significant slowdown or seemingly everywhere.
You know a company there, let me know.
The latest from David Solomon, Chairman and CEO of Goldman Sachs. Listen.
There's no question the trade policy that's been articulated, or the direction of travel, has changed the perspective on forward growth. So consensus on forward growth was 2%. It's obviously much lower now.
All right, so that's Solomon, but you get the picture, right? Everything that you need, completed deals, X, you don't have that. Resilient macro, X, you don't have that. And earnings just aren't that great, and they're not expected to be very much at all.
And that's why the S&P is down 10% on the year, and that's why the NASDAQ hit down 18% yesterday, right? Expectations are very, very low. Sentiment is very negative. Yeah, I'll give you some of the data that is really weak or weakening, but as long as the labor market stays strong, that's the thing that I'm watching. If that starts to fall in a big way, then Katie bar the door. Because that is the most important piece, because that's the most important piece for the consumer. And not only, but for the consumer, they need jobs, they have wage growth, inflation is certainly coming down. So there are some positives out there. In terms of earnings, only 25% of the companies in the S&P 500
Yeah, more
reported
details
so far.
coming out.
It's way too early to call.
So get ready, because you're going to hear this. They have to pick up on it. Like I said, we just saw the news while it was playing, and they didn't say anything. But now they're saying he added that negotiations haven't started, but a deal is possible. Session 1 event. And yeah, this is all related. It's not open to the public.
It's actually helping to offset.
So there's more comments related we don't have.
We're hearing about tariffs, and
that means J.P. Morgan, motherfuckers. If this was a private event and you were melting up for no damn reason this whole day.
I think expectations are very, very low, so it's a low bar, but I think they will be better. I think margins are going to hang in. I mean, geez, look at 3M in GE today and their margins. So you have to just take each day by day. It is very volatile. It's very challenging. We've all been doing this for 30 plus years. This is probably the hardest year ever. But the sentiment is extremely negative, and it won't take much for this market to bounce like we're seeing this afternoon.
All right, he's moving up.
Follows up Solomon. And just before we came on the air today, Josh cuts his GDP forecast for this year to 0.5 for the obvious reasons. Tariffs, tighter financial conditions, policy uncertainty. But what do you make of what you've heard already on the desk, and then what the street is making the focus of its commentary today?
Stephanie and I agree that sentiment is extremely washed out.
I did not come on.
It's so washed out that these 800-point intraday Dow rallies are exactly what you should expect in that environment. The problem is the presence of washed out sentiment alone doesn't really give you a longer-term respite from the things that everyone is worried about. So we have these bear market rallies. They're fast, they're sharp, they're furious. You see people covering short positions. You see people, chasing after stocks because they think maybe they missed the bottom. They don't, historically at least, and maybe this time will be different, they don't often lead to a sustainable bottom while we're still talking about washed out sentiment. Like, it has to get to the point where we don't even bother talking about sentiment because it just becomes a given that everybody's bearish. I would love to tell you that I think we're there, but I just don't. As to what Rob was saying, I want to take his metaphor of waiting for Godot one step further. A lot of people are unaware of the provenance of that idea. Waiting for Godot is a play by Samuel Beckett, and it has no point. It's what they coined at the time the term theater of the absurd. There is no resolution. It's two characters basically talking themselves in circles for 3 acts, and it never goes anywhere. Spoiler alert, Godot never shows up at the end of the play. And I think that that's what's starting to set in here, which is that we might get resolution with one country, but continue to battle with rhetoric another country. And this just might be like the permanent condition of the rest of the year. That's a worst case scenario. I'm not rooting for it. I certainly am not expecting it, but that's what's starting to set in here. It's like, oh, wait a minute. The negotiations are the point, not the resolution. So Godot might not come. As far as Jan Hatzius, I could have told you he was about to cut his estimate because he put out a piece of research on April 6th where he quantifies the effect of uncertainty on hiring, on business investment, on consumer
All right,
spending.
Amazon,
really
SPY still going. I think that just,
there are real
until you hear the full details or until they walk it back, that's going to just get you more melt up. That's it. I mean, again, you were already melting up for no damn reason today after selling off on the delayed reaction to Powell. You already broke through most of the levels, and now that rumor there about the China deal and what Bessent's saying seems like he's kind of motivated there, and people got excited by that. But for now, you're right below 5,300. So we were talking about this. If you got past the 5208, now 5307, 5319, and then like 5332. But I would just wait for the next update. I'm so mad I sold those QQQs that early. But wait till we hear an update on that headline. Expert level Iran U.S. talks to be held on Saturday instead of Wednesday.
S&P, like 2/3 of the S&P constituents are.
Well, yeah, we're still in the chop zone because look, the thing that sucks about this. You're now like back to the higher end,
it's a duck.
But one more day down, you're back to the danger zone. So like I was saying,
long said,
just like yesterday's watch list, the problem will be speed. Even though we're looking right at the edge, it doesn't mean it has to do it right away. This could take a week or two. Again, if you don't.
I know you don't.
Well, no. The odds of a recession have definitely increased. I don't want to come across as some perma bull who's been taking nitrous oxide.
But anyways. But this was how 2020. Do you guys realize this is us now, and then this was what happened in 2022? So, like I'm telling you, even though you're at the low, what if you bounce up, go down, bounce up, break down? That could take 2 weeks. So even though we got to the danger zone yesterday, everybody freaked out. You get what I'm saying? Now you have this kind of reverse, back and forth. I mean, not bad. Alrighty. You got just under 100% extra on those Babas. I already made them free. So that's beautiful. They did it, y'all. Premiums are, dude, it woke up. Everybody just got excited off of that. You were already melting up, and then now China rumor, and you're holding the first move. People are waiting for the update. I'm telling you, nobody really knows. Yeah, so now it's getting confirmed. Indices rise as Treasury Secretary Bessent comments on China trade war de-escalation wish. That's what they're calling it. All right, you're running back. Oh, I should have held those Babas. I got a bunch of free ones, but that original position was great. Money. But yeah, I called that one out for you guys. You should have heard me, but you have to move quick on that. But yeah, we got that within seconds. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm in a coat. Yeah, I mean, they were already up, but like I said, we're not going to get mad taking our profits. Like I said, another win. Your only regret is you sold too early with a gain. I'll take that. All right. Wait for that update. That'll be your follow-through. Baba's running in the meantime. And then we even got some long-term. And Meta went nuts. And now I want to do the long-term was nuts already, bro. Yeah, so there you go. I mean, we are back up on the year. I don't know. Now's a good time to tell you. That's so crazy. So again, yesterday, danger zone. Now we're on the upside of it. But we'll see. You got Baidu. Nice. Yeah, those are, if you somehow got the early jump, you would have made 200. But even though we were early, the premiums are up. But now you got 100%. Even from the voice call out. Again, I told you guys, I stream alerted the exact play, but you should have heard me say Baba. Baba. That was fun. Yeah, oil will go up on good China activity. I said, I'm sorry, Baba. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to Xi Jinping, but tonight I'm cleaning out common prosperity. One more time. I said, I'm sorry, Xi Jinping. NASDAQ up 3. So you are now back, I'm pretty sure, to where we closed on Friday. Yeah. So yesterday was nothing. So you freaked out on the whole fire Jerome Powell, sell off 3%, go back to the danger zone, and now we are effectively where we started. Hyatt. Why is that popping? Hyatt for travel. It looks like a dud. Oh, yeah, we still have those other plays. The HDs are still up. I think we'll sell that last one. HDs are up 150. They had more gains earlier. So sold the last HD, 150. White House asked FERC Commissioner Phillips to resign. FERC Commissioner. Is that the federal election? Boeing. Oh, we still have our Bobos. Remember they hustled us in the morning? They were only up 70. Now they're up 45. That's stupid. Last Babas are still up a fuck ton. Banger. That was good. Honestly, you have to go a little bigger for it to like really juice, but even then, I think that would have been better than some of the SPY ones. TLT on the high. Yeah, TLT. Wait, what time is it? 9. I think we have a 2-year bond auction. That's going to be like 45 minutes. Gold is dropping. Here's pizza. Where's the other one? Baba. NASDAQ last up 3-1. SPY up 2.6. Dow Russell 266. I think it'll start. It might end with like randomly, but I do think if you are gonna get the counter move, it'll be when we get updates. Yo, J&J, what just happened there? That popped and flipped. It's actually really wild. Did everybody flip out of value? I think they did. Yo, you guys see that? Go look at any staple play. Healthcare was a little better, but all these staple plays flipped. They popped on the China, and then they dumped. So that kind of shows you people are a little bit risk on. You get what I'm saying? Because they're saying, yeah, fuck that. Get out of J&J. Get out of Pepsi. Let's go buy some fucking NVIDIA. You know, so that's a very interesting one. Wow. They sold out the winners. Yeah, even Netflix, and they went to the underperformers on that. So that's a good sign. It's a good sign. The bad sign is that just 6 hours ago, everybody was panicking. So that could end in a second. So I don't know how much weight to put on that. But for now, that shows you a little bit of it. Yeah, even gold. That's what I'm saying. Money's coming out of safety. It's risk on. That's what I'm saying. There's whatever that comment, even though we need more updates and it could get walked back, they're taking that as risk on because they're selling all the value and then they're buying all the stuff that's down. Interesting. Healthcare dumped a little bit, but it didn't go as much as staples. So it did the pop and then gave some back. Meanwhile, I want to say like discretionaries, financials, they popped and they're still holding up. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So like I'm saying, they went risk on that. Very, very crazy. So I hope it lasts if you really want the He Has Risen rally. Damn, those Babas are up over 100% now. You could have gotten a less optimal play, and it's still up 100%. So, yeah, those hit. Coca-Cola. Yeah, long-term is wrecking today, bro. In dramatic fashion. Of course, Alex, and welcome, baby. Pinduoduo, it's not bad. Canada Prime Minister Carney, if he wins election and goes to plan, would be realistic to expect budget to return to surplus. Oh, I thought he was about to come in with trade details too. How do you know it was China related before it came out? It's called the juice. I think I got the juice like that is how you know. Some would say juice. Some would say sauce. Either way, I mean, we did discover we had a little bit of motion this morning. But I would say it's the juice. I would say that's just what it is, bro. It is what it is. I'm not just telling y'all I'm locked in. I'm actually locked in. You know what I'm saying? That's all. It remind me of the crypto. They all like on crypto, but then they let me get it first. It's the same thing. You got to be locked in, baby. You got to be locked in. All right. You ride now. I should have held the Baba. I still have some. I have a lot of them still. Again, that's how you know we had a good day. Because we're sitting, again, we just talked about this yesterday, and I hope you guys see. I go through it too. But like we talked about yesterday, I do take pride in selling early, though, because we made money. That's it. The day that it doesn't work, you'll realize what I'm saying. But for now, you know, I think it's a good thing to walk away with some cash. And then we still got a little bit more upside. That's nuts. IBKR on the high. Again, financials. That's a broker. They already had earnings. Pizza is not a diamond. No, it looks like it's a diamond because it's a high yield trap. That's exactly why. So in the world of diamond hunting, there's a lot of fake diamonds that have a high yield. Those are called yield traps. So I like it. That's why I bought it. But it's just not. Don't get too jumpy. I went half a deposit for a reason. I'm not that confident in it, but in a weird way, even though it pays a dividend, I don't think people I think this is a buyout candidate. That's what I like about it, is that it has a dividend, 72 payout ratio. It's fucking pizza. So I don't think pizza will not exist in a decade, but I really think it has share upside. That's what I'm saying. It was almost 100% higher at the beginning of the year. But that's what I do like Target. I do, but I didn't buy it. This is just deep-ass fucking value. It does do good in recessions, but I did go small. All right, you're still running. You got it early. You got it quick, baby. I hope you got a good play, but other than that now, I don't know. Starting to really look like he has risen rally if this does not get walked back. So again, if tomorrow, tonight, the rest of the day, they don't walk back this news and then they keep hammering this, the earnings are good, more buybacks open up, this is going to give you that temporary rally we were looking for. Yeah, it's more than 100 on the Baba. Technically, it's 250 from where we got it. We got about 150 of it. We did it, y'all. That was fire, bro. That's it. Even the stream alert. So even after us doing that, getting it, reacting, that was just, yeah, you had a 2-minute jump. Even on all those Babas lagged for 2 minutes. That's why some of you thought you didn't hit it. We were in the Baba and you're like, what? It's not. And then boom. So that just sucked of how it played out, but you had a 2-minute window. Man, Chadadonia did it again. Sold early, it's okay. If you sold early and could have made more, it's okay. If you didn't play it, it's okay. If you got it, it's okay. Point is, Like we were talking yesterday, we're going to get another one. That's why we don't need to really get too caught up with any play. And if you don't believe me, like have you guys not noticed it? That's what, don't take my word for it. But I do hope that you guys have seen it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Can you guys see it with your own eyes? Like, it's not just me telling you this. Like, for real, bro, we're getting an opportunity almost every single day, if not multiple. There is always one of these that is moving and going nuts. It was China news. It was Scott Bessent talking about China, and then it caused this move of him kind of hinting at a deal. Oh, are those the Boeings? Boeings are up 50. I want them, but I like Boeing a lot, actually. Why are they hoeing us so bad? Palantir on the high. You get trouble filled with options. Are you like, how are you buying it? So I'm like doing a lot in my head, but once I'm ready to go, that's it. I'm not like getting to the order screen fumbling around. If I do, it's because I fucked up, So you have to kind of like identify what you want, have an idea, get a price in your head, and you either be careful with the market orders. I'll do it sometimes, but other times I have been doing a lot of limit orders lately, but I know the price. Sometimes I'll even put a limit above the ask, but then I'm doing it, and that's it. Once I get to order screen, that's not the moment to think at the order screen. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking before I hit the order. And then once it's on order screen, that's why you're asking, how do I get filled so fast? That's it. It's a one-way road. Right when we get to order mode, that's it. It's going through. And then unless we mess up on the execution, the price, all of that. But don't worry. Some of these, that one was interesting. That one, you even had a couple of minutes to buy it. Like that BABA, you didn't need to buy it right away. You could have bought it 120 seconds later at the same price I got it, and you would still be up 200% right now. Or 150. So, but that one you didn't need to be quick. It was about comprehending the news, being somewhat early, and then actually executing it. And that one you had to kind of like the other day, you had to like write it out, Like yesterday I rode all my SQQ. I had to write it all day to get that max gain. That one you have to wait a little bit for the hype pop because it made that 100% move. Actually, that's good. Yeah, once you have the price in your head, you just hit. And then if it's not there, it's not there. Believe me, none of these moves, I've been hitting them we've hit a lot of them, but I don't care about them, and neither should you. Like, you know what I'm saying? If a lot of plays today, even if it's not there, I'm not there, don't worry about it. And we'll get another one, but now plan ahead too. So make up your mind. I sold early, but I think they're going to give me back a lot more. I'm still right. I haven't, ever since the first make free, I haven't touched it. So all I did was get my initial investment back because I went big, got all my money back, and now I'm just riding the rest. So start planning on what you want to do to those. Got rid of those HDs. We got some other plays cooking up. I mean, these kind of shady because this was a private event, JP Morgan conference, no access to the public. And then all of a sudden, the market is up it's up 2% ahead of it with nobody knowing. And then homeboy drops a comment that literally I had to explain it to people because they're like, wait, I thought that sounds bad. And it's like, yeah, it does, but not really. But yeah, so fuck you, Jamie Dimon. They were behind the 90-day pause. That was reports. I didn't hear that, but still. I mean, it's obvious that it's not obvious. It's just the water is murky. Let's just put it that way. Well, what a day, baby. What a day. Yeah, do some push-ups. You got another hitter. You know. Zelensky, Ukrainian delegation has mandate to discuss full or partial ceasefire at Wednesday talk in London. Bro, you could just ghetto spread the remaining Baba contracts. I might do that. Zelensky says it's impossible to agree all terms of peace quickly. Gisela! Woo! Welcome. I was just about to ask you guys if you would like to become members. I would really appreciate it. So, Gisela, that you already did it. So, thank you. I appreciate you. You see a little rat pops up when things get good. That's bad, bro. That's bad, but not too inaccurate. You could ghetto spread. You could ghetto spread the 129s. Oh, MTN's climbing too. Bro, look at you. I got the juice, dog. Come on. All right, well, Jadadonia, we have about 30 more minutes. We got some good plays. We got some early news. Hopefully you got a bag. I'm sure we got a lot more in store, but I think now would be a good time to ask you guys. If you could buy a membership, I would appreciate it. And I would love to see if this still works. But low-key, Gisela already hooked it up. So thank you. And to everybody else. Other than that, though, we'll do Philo in 30 minutes. And if, you might need that membership at a later time. For now, though, it's just because you love me. And I love you. I love you too, Don Lemon. Even though you're a little weird. Jason! That's it. All right, there you go. You don't need to buy it anymore. We already got one. So, but I appreciate it. It works still. I love it, man. I love it. Love to see some real people ready to go. Oh, D-Bob. He said, bless the Chad. He said, Rolando, you're blessed. You're blessed. Amen. Enrico. Bro, now it's 200%. 350 on the original or 3, but now you have 200% on the late one. That's crazy. I love it. Oh, stuff and things. NRJD. Mike Louie. See, bro. This is what I'm going to tell you. There's shit like this, too. Every day, bro. Y'all pissing people off. Somebody get hella mad at me. You think they like to see me get all these members? You think Don Lemon got paid $20 million from CNN and got fired and could not even sell a fraction of our memberships that I just ask you for. You know that? So they get mad, bro. But at the end of the day, like I told you, every single fucking one of you guys making a good decision and getting on there, bro. I really appreciate y'all, man. So thank you. For real. And let's do this. Let's make the most of our opportunities, man. And that's it. We lock in. They can't lock us out. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Yuliaga. Let's go. Yeah, baby. The ghost. The ghost, bro. Thank you, my friend. He did it, y'all. They did it. Chris Ansuars. What a name. What a name. Mr. Enzo Zelensky. Ukraine won't recognize occupation of Crimea. Dude, what? It's from fucking 2014. All right, they're chilling it out. Should we hold it or sell it? That's on you guys. I kind of want to take it. Yeah, I'm going to take them all. They're worth a lot. It's almost 300%, dude. Okay, I'm out of all the Babas. I'm going to buy them back later, or I'll buy a cheaper one. That was a great cane, dude. That was, oh, another 20! Yo, stop it. Let's go. A couple 100%ers, some early news, 40 memberships. Are you kidding me? Let's go, baby. We looking good, baby. Shout out to Chad. All right, I'm waiting. I'm going to do a rollover. Sadly, I want to go to the shitty place. Because I like the China move leading into tomorrow, but that's it. They just ran a lot. I'm out of all of them. I sold every single one. Richie, Captain, welcome, guys. I look forward to seeing you at Philo. However, please do not buy the membership if you're going to complain during Philo. Honestly, if you're going to complain at all. I just don't like complainers in any capacity. You know what I'm saying? I don't even like complaining about complaining. I'm just telling you the rules. I'm not even complaining about it. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't think Trade News is making this move. I just think we had a big one. Hong Kong Marv! What up, baby? Marco Saldana. God bless the Chad. Gotta pay the plug. Well, I appreciate it, man. Amen. I know the secret JP Morgan meeting. Isn't that bullshit, dude? Like, what? Oh my goodness. Feel me? I found one. I got a good one for you. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. Because you're saying, you said your dad getting scammed? See, look at the market, though, right now. Actually, that might not be it. What's the percentage on this one? Oh, yeah, you do have Tesla. I forgot for a little. Nice. Oh, that one's still up there, though. Hold on. All right, I thought I had it, but nah, good. I went very small, though. I double dipped, but I only did a fraction. So we made a lot on that Baba play. I only put like $100 back into it. But I rolled over. Different contract, different date. That's your tip. Not a recommendation. Okay. Oh, Nicola. Good morning. Gifted me a sub. Hell yeah, man. You got some awesome chads hooking it up. Oh, I love it. All right, now we chill. I did a double dip on Baba. Again, we made a lot, but then I only threw 100 back into it. Keep it small with a little bit of time, and then, yeah, we just wait. Now we wait. Actually, I would love to. I want to hold it, though. I want to get rid of that Boeing. It's green, but yeah, it's just not moving. You know what I'm saying? Everybody long term. Bow, bow, bow. The weekly. I did play the weekly on the initial one. Well, I played the daily, technically. That was it. You could have played any of them. They all moved up because that was like groundbreaking news. It was breaking news at the time. But the problem with the Baba, most of you noticed it, was that right away they gapped up the premiums, just like they do on the SPY. So the play that I bought, even though I was early, it was already up 100%. That's why it took 3 minutes to move, and then it went up another 100%, and then another one after you kind of work through that. Disney Chair says tariff trade war has been a shock. Gorman says too early to predict if U.S. will enter recession. What, are they tariffing DEI characters? Oh, can you not replace the characters? Oh, do they tariff it? Oh. How does that work, Disney? I don't get it. So the fuck? Is Popeye getting his fucking spinach tariff? No, I don't want to hear it. They're like, oh, how can we make a movie for children about demons now? Oh, so difficult with tariffs. Oh, man. How can we spend $1 billion on a shitty movie? Oh. By the way, I own Disney stock. So, see? That's how you do it, guys. That's how you do it. You could be aware while owning it. I know. See, I got to hedge it. You predicted JP Morgan? I don't think you did, sir. I'm sorry, but it is important to you that you did predict it, but unfortunately, it is not on your chat facts. I see Tesla calls. You've been here 3 years. You don't know who the peach is. You were here on the pledge, and today all you said was Watchlist and coin calls. So maybe you posted it somewhere else, but you did not post it in here. Calls, not bad, bro. I mean, Tesla's going to be a big earnings, especially after this hype now. It was already going to be big because Elon, and now it's even crazier. Kaba on the high, not Baba, Kaba. I think the weirdest part is the staples. Now they're kind of holding up, but that was weird. I can't believe that type of rumor with no confirmation. They were willing to go risk on. They literally dumped all the other shit. Very, very surprising. Shout out to Chad I met at Costco. He had this stream playing while working. No. Where? Tell me the location. What's his name? Did you talk to him? We need to get him something. I love that. I love it when Chad's in the wild and then you guys encounter each other. It's great. I did not do a K-Web put. No, all I did was Baba. We didn't know what it was. I went to check news before a play because I knew the SPY was going to jack up. But if you heard, I was like, something's happening. I went through the currencies, and then I started noticing the China activity. I said, it has to do with China because no other currency was moving, but it was all Asian-oriented, and then boom, that was the only one I went for. I went early. I knew it had premium, but I figured it would keep going, and it did. But, you know, a nice little just under 300%. Not too bad, but we were early. Chad's in the BK. Yeah, you had a window. You had a window on that one. Whether you were on stream alerts or just listening, even if you were a non-paying member, that should have, you were, even, again, we had CNBC playing at the same time. They had no fucking idea what was going on. So, but you did have, it was literally 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes before the plays even went up. Mm-hmm. Oh, you do have a bond auction. You fumbled hard. It's okay. That happens. I've done it. Believe me. He'll be fine. And welcome to all the new members. God bless you. Paid the plug now to treat the wife with some food, baby. Enjoy it, man. That's all you need. That's all you need. I think we are. We're going to steak this weekend. I was playing video games and I didn't miss it. You saved it? He said, I had time to save a checkpoint still. I guess you could. Because you know what I did yesterday? It's so funny you said that. I don't know why. I was acting like a little kid. Because for some reason, I had to, like, change. And I don't know why. I was like, I wonder how long it takes me to change. Because I guess because I always be waiting for my girlfriend. So I timed myself getting ready. Just changing. And guess how long? So I could take off my clothes and put on a new set of clothes. Guess how long it took me? 39 seconds. Oh, you were close, dude. He just said 37. That's creepy. You just creeped me out, bro. Just fucking get out of my house. Why are you looking at me? Stop staring. Yeah. Dude, 37 or 39 seconds. That guy just really freaked me out. But yeah, so that kind of makes sense. You had it. I don't know if you guys realize. Do you realize on these plays, I talk to you in terms of seconds? Because that's where I was like, dude, you had 120 seconds. You had 2 minutes. It was like a 2-minute window. That's why I'm like, and it feels so slow when you're in the moment. But then, like, yeah, but that's what I was thinking of yesterday and changing. But yeah, if you could get ready in 39 seconds, even then, you would have had at least a minute to, like, you know, you could have saved the game. You could have done some other things. We see your reflection in the SPY and TLT charts. What are you? Is this fucking Lion King? The fuck? You think you're going to find the circle of life and then you stare into the river of TLT? I see Josh's face. And I'm like, Simba, long term. You are destined to save 10%. Long term will set you free. And then you have an internal crisis because you're like, I know I should. He told me to get the long term. I was supposed to plan ahead. I know I'm supposed to have the circle of life. It's the animal kingdom. This is supposed to be my destiny, but I keep gambling. I keep on to gamble the daily options. I got to play the day. I got to make it fast. What do I do? Follow the long term way, Simba. Follow the long-term way. Besant signals willingness to offer Argentina a Forex line. That's weird. He said the opposite the other day. That's related to China. If you're not aware of the situation, China has offered Argentina a credit line to help stabilize them. So if we step in to help it out, it's because we're trying to clap China. Look at that little info for you, if you were not familiar. Trade wars kind. Now you like it? Like I told you guys, just get ready. Some of you are going to love it, hate it. Usually by the end of it, everybody fucking hates it. I'm being dead serious. I'm not even kidding you. Even in 2018, I was getting sick of it at one point. That's why I tell you guys, one of the worst years was 2018. I don't think people realize it. So it's all cute and shit now, but you're like, I hate it. Oh, I love it. I love it. By the end of it, we're all going to hate it. So good luck. You imagined I look like Jared Paulin, dude doing photography? No. I look like Benny Blanco on steroids. That's it. So if Benny Blanco went to the gym, that's me. Bond auction in 10 minutes. Well. Same for the other one. Okay. Caroline Levitt. I think I told you. Did I tell you guys the weird part about Caroline Levitt? And it's not her husband?
No.
I think I did tell you guys. It was kind of interesting. I would hate to bring this up because I would hate to I would hate to have a annoying conversation, but yeah, I'm going to do it. Did you know that Caroline Levitt was the spokesgirl for Project 2025? Yeah. Did you know that? I think I told you guys this. Yeah, I was like, whoa. So that's where that's not a good look if you were on the 2025. State Department spokesperson Rubio will no longer travel to London to attend talks on war in Ukraine. I sound like your in-laws? Yeah, but I'm not like, I'm not telling you to dye your hair blue. I'm just aware of things. That's why, and I notice them, and I do comment on them, even if I'm like, I don't like Project 2025. I did not think Trump was going to do it, and I don't think he is. But then again, Homegirl was the spokesgirl. She was literally the one doing the videos for 2025 back in the day. No, she go see it. There's old Project 2025 videos, and it's literally Caroline Levitt explaining Project 2025. That's the funniest part because everybody who tried to shit talk the Project 2025 thing, y'all should have just shown that in the beginning. But we didn't know she was going to be the press secretary. But literally, you should have just shown that because I was like, what? She's literally the girl explaining it, bro. So I think that's where there's 2025, Project 2025 Trump connection. And then I think whatever support he got through that, but I think he found her through that. Because she did work in the press before, but yeah, that was it. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't know why I see it. I'm just telling you. I remember arguing with people, and they're like, 2025. And I'm like, I'm not worried about that. But I'm surprised. I'm like, you guys should have just showed me that video over and over again. Now I have to show you it. See? Look. So this is a Project 2025 training video.
Great. We're more in the place where people wear.
That's Caroline Levitt, bro.
So things are a little bit different. There are, however, some.
She look even younger because she's still young.
About what are those characteristics that make a professional? I think that's excellent.
So they're talking about certain. They have these videos.
You talked about knowledge.
Yeah, it's fucking Caroline Levitt, bro.
Critical. So in addition to being good at your job, you want to be someone who knows answers.
What do you not like about it? I don't like the part about it that makes it seem or sound like they're kind of doing it in a shady way to just take all this control. And, you know, it kind of gives like Handmaid's Tale vibes. That's the only part I don't like about it. Again, I do like conservative values, but I do believe in conservatism to the point of yourself, and you should focus on you. So do I like, again, I think I saw it the other day. What was his name? Was it Bill O'Reilly? Or who was the guy? And he did an interview with Charlie Kirk. And he was like, do you care if I drink and smoke? And yeah, it's like, I believe in certain conservative values, but only to the point of like, I like them for me. I don't really care what a motherfucker does. And then again, I don't think I'm as conservative to the point of you hear my language and other things. And even the fact that like I said, I don't really care what anybody does. That is pretty inherently not as conservative. But other than that, yeah, the whole like lack of due process, some things like that just kind of rubs you the wrong way. But I do like some of what I like the broader theme of what it advocates for. But I like it in a good way. But then again, I'm not a politician. The problem is not caring what other people do is how we got in the mess. I don't think so. I think we fell away from objectivity. That's it. And we don't like, everybody just likes feeling good. That's it. I don't know what to tell you. Because there has to be right and wrong, and that's okay. You know, and that's why I'm saying, like, gambling is wrong. Options is gambling. I still do it. There you go. I'm fine with that. I don't think I'm a bad person. Do I think that's a bad behavior that could hurt me? It is. Is that something sustainable? It's not. You know, and that's why it's just like, I think we need objectivity, and we have to be a little bit more secure with what it is. But, you know, no one likes to be called a sinner or this is wrong or this is that. And then it, you know, it brings out certain things. But I'm not really, again, I don't think you need to push everything on people. I mean, that's, I don't know. A lot of I remember the what was it, 2015, bro? I feel like all the way up till like 2015, we lived in like a good modern world. I don't know how to describe it. I guess we had Fetty Wap and other things happening, and you may have not appreciated it, but I feel like 2015 was peak like modern times mixed in with like everything that got us there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like generally like 2015, people still, you know, we weren't arguing about genders and other things. Even if you were like, you were gay, no one really cared, you know. You had gay marriage and other things. It wasn't like ideological issues, and it wasn't this heightened political environment. Yeah, pre-COVID was 5 years pre-COVID. You know what I'm saying? A full ass half a decade ahead of COVID. That's where it was like modern. We had the internet, social media, but then it wasn't like we weren't too detached from reality or, again, you know, fighting or arguing in political ideology. It wasn't as apparent. Yeah, people didn't give a shit about middle ground. It wasn't like offensive to be in the middle. Now, something happened after COVID where it became offensive to be in the middle. You guys don't realize that? That's why all my conservative fans, they would get pissed when I wasn't fucking being a conservative. And then vice versa, when I wasn't being a full-blown, like, no, you got to include everything, and this is it. There's no such thing as right and wrong. People would get mad at me. It was both sides. It was like the middle became offensive. Yeah, it got very, very polarized. So we'll see. I don't know if we'll go back to that. I hope we do, but yeah. Live your life. Yeah, literally, it was pick a side, and you were able to be like, nah, I'm good. And they were like, if you don't pick a side, you're the devil. What? That's not. I thought heaven and hell, not purgatory, dog. This is bullshit. Okay, Caroline Levitt is not live yet. When issued 3789. All right. So I'll put up the wire. Bond auction, 2-year note. 3789 is the number. You'll see it on the wire when it comes out. And then we're going to move to Philo. So after bond auction, if you guys are going to want to stick around, you will need a membership. And again, I'm actually going to talk about Jesus, like no lie. So if you don't want to hear that, just maybe don't buy the membership. Like I said, I'm not trying to make you have a bad time. You only have a bad time if you put yourself into something you don't like, you know? So I don't like you when I do Philo and you don't like it, so I try to avoid you. So you should do the same if you don't like Philo. Otherwise, I'd love for when you were there. Gion! Oh, he made it. He said, I'm not getting left behind. I'm not getting caught up in the Chad rapture. He said, put me on board, Josh. Well, welcome, Gion. Gion Freeman, what a name. 3795. Damn, higher. That's so weird. Do you get it? You just had both sides, bro. That you had two auctions on the long end do good, and now the short end did bad. Think about what we talked about yesterday. You don't believe in Jesus but love Jesus. Is that weird? No, man. It's not at all. I think it's a beautiful thing. That's what I'm saying. You might have a more pure heart than somebody who goes to church every Sunday in the wrong manner. You know that? That was a C.S. Lewis, the Buddhist who focuses on the forgiveness. You know, the Muslim that focuses on love. If you're being drawn to certain things, bro, that's good, man. And I like that. You see what I'm saying? I love that, actually, because I want you to find your answer. And, you know, when things call to you and whatever you focus on, that's in you. So listen to it, vibe with it, and good shit, bro. Okay, primary dealers take 13%. Indirects 56. Directs take 77 of bid amount. Indirect 74. Yeah, not bad, bro. So I'm saying not bad. And this whole foreign demand, everything that wasn't. I'm the most open-minded Jesus talking person I've come across. Yeah, because I've read the Bible and I think I read it this morning and it said you're nothing. And I agree with it. That's why Jesus people don't like me. One day you guys will realize that. The Jesus people don't like me and the non-Jesus people don't like me. What does that tell you? And then both sides, bro. I love it. I love it. Earthquake 6.1 in Vanuatu Islands. Vanuatu, quickly. You get to the chopper now. Hurry, get to the yards. Hurry, there's no time. The bondog's on. Sorry. Finish singing, playing for 14 masses in 3 days. Here's Rison, but I'm effing dead. Appreciate it, baby. Good work, man. Fucking, you're an artist, dog. I can't. I have no. It's funny because I have no instrument talent. I can play the violin, but that's it. I'm not good at it anymore. Trump deeply disturbed at the news out of Kashmir. Prime Minister Modi and incredible people of India have our full support and deepest sympathies. All righty. On that note, Chattadonia, last call. It's time to move on over to Philo. So you will need a member If not, we'll be on around power hour maybe. So you'll be good. We added to the long term again today, which is crazy. But other than that, game time, you do have Caroline Levitt, and then be on the lookout for those comments as well as potential India and then earnings, and then we'll be here after the bell for Tesla. All right? Sound good? Sounds good. I will see you all over there. God bless America, and thank you to the veterans. I'll see y'all in a little bit. And peace.